What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the What's Good Games podcast. We are all here together, finally. Ladies, welcome back to the Bay.
Yay! I love that you started off with What's Good.
I figure it's about time for us to do that.
Yeah.
We are the What's Good Games podcast,
We've
after all.
received some requests for that, actually.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. You have?
Well, I'm here to serve. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrea Renee, and I'm joined, as always, by my panel of fantastic co-hosts. To my left, Miss Alexa?
Wow.
Alexa Ray Korea.
Hi.
I didn't mean to butcher your name. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's fine.
You are maybe upping Steimer in the lipstick game this week.
A little bit.
Oh, well, mine's not actually lipstick, so it's fine.
She put me in my
It's
place.
a tinted lip balm.
Well, there we go.
What brand?
A one you would have never heard of.
Oh my.
It's probably
okay.
organic
I'm
and all
very
natural.
hipster when it comes.
She is.
Organic, made from
Steimer and I have been
organic
skincare shopping
balm
before.
leaves
Yes.
plucked from the
Made from
tip of a mountain.
Yes.
Slug slime.
Speaking of which, that's
God.
Christine Steimer down there. Hello.
Hi, it's me.
And Brittany Braunbacher.
Hello.
She's our little sandwich.
So Steimer is repping our WGG prototype shirts.
Yes.
And somehow we all coordinated Nintendo shirts.
Whoops.
It wasn't intentional. It just happened. Whoops. So for the people who are listening, Britt is wearing a Super Mario shirt that has classic Mario characters on it.
Cool muscle shirt. It's
Yeah.
like come down.
Sun's out, guns out.
Exactly.
Boobs out.
True.
Alexa
Sort of.
and I are both wearing the Uniqlo Mario t-shirts. She's got the booze.
Got the booze.
And I have the I Am Legend Zelda shirt.
It's a fantastic shirt, Andrea.
Thank you.
It is pretty cute.
I do
need
like
it.
it. The only thing I don't like is that the sleeves are a little long for my personal taste, but
Just
that's a
cut 'em
Uniqlo
off.
style thing. So ladies, it's been an interesting week. Not a ton of news has happened, but there is some interesting stories. The biggest story of the week we're going to get to in 1 second. Before I do that, I want to give a giant shout out to one of our awesome sponsors, TakeThis.org. 1 in 4 people in America deals with a mental health issue. You guys, that's 25% of the population. Talking about mental health symptoms is the fastest way to find hope and healing. But the stigma of mental health issues makes a lot of people feel like they kind of have to suffer in silence, and that's never a good thing. Take This helps by letting people know it's okay to not be okay. And there's help. Visit takethis.org for stories from people like you, advice from our mental health experts, and tips for how to help people you love who might be struggling. Take This. It's dangerous to go alone. And I'm wearing my Zelda shirt.
Love that.
And it says take this on it.
It does. And it's got lots of hearts and stuff.
It's on your left boob.
Oh,
Yep.
yes. It's dangerous
Left.
to go alone.
Left boob. Take this.
Like right on the
There it
nip.
is. Like literally right over my nipple. Don't stare there now the whole show. Now you're going to. So thank you to Take This for supporting the What's Good Games podcast. Please, if you guys have ever had thoughts, if you know someone who's having thoughts or who has questions about mental health, Take This is a fantastic resource. They do great work, and we appreciate their support and support them in return. So if you guys want to get involved in our community like Take This, we have a fantastic Patreon page. That's patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. This week we are doing 2 exclusive streams. By the time this podcast posts, those streams will have been completed. But if you missed out and you want to get it in on the streams for July, you have until June 30th to sign up and become a patron of ours. We would love it if you guys got involved. We also would love it if you would subscribe and rate us on podcast services, on iTunes, on Google Play. Even if you don't listen to the podcast on those services, if you use something else, if you're watching this on YouTube or on vid.me, it would really help us out if you guys could still go and leave us a rating and subscribe there. That would be incredibly helpful to us, and we would be super grateful for that.
Real quick on the Patreon
Yes.
thing. We are archiving those streams, by the way. So technically they can go back and watch if they miss them.
Yes, if they're current patrons.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I meant. I didn't mean to be confusing. Thank you for that clarification. If you are a patron and you got in for the month of May, then you will be able to watch the streams if you miss them live. Don't worry. You're not missing out on the content, on your exclusive content. Those will be unlisted links, but if you guys want to watch all of our content for everybody, Subscribe to our YouTube page. That's youtube.com/whatsgoodgames. We have some really fun content going up there, as well as our Facebook page, which Britt has been doing a fantastic job with.
Thank you.
We have some really cool content. We answer your guys' questions. This week, the question is, what game would you make if you could make a game? And I think it kind of stumped a lot of us.
It did.
But if you want to hear our answers, you can check that out on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/whatsgoodgames. Okay. That's enough plugs for now.
That was good.
But this is important. We want to make sure that if you guys are new to our community, you know where you can find all of our stuff. So, the big news of the week, ladies. Dun, 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 dun. The SNES Classic Mini has been unveiled.
Oh boy.
It's coming on September 29th to the United States for $79.99. It will feature an unreleased game, Star Fox 2.
Oh my god.
So for clarification, yes, this was leaked as a ROM. It is playable if you can find it, but it was never officially released by Nintendo, so this will be the first time. It includes a list of some fantastic games: Donkey Kong Country, Earthbound, Final Fantasy III, F-Zero, Kirby Superstar, Kirby Dream Course, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Mega Man X, Secret of Mana, Star Fox 2, Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, Castlevania 4, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, The Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch-Out, Yoshi's Island, and Contra 3 The Alien Wars.
Splooge.
Oh dear.
So ladies,
Dear God.
what do you think about this? That's it?
I'll let everyone. I gave my thoughts earlier on the DLC podcast this week, so you guys go first, and I can circle back.
Britt.
Okay. So the lineup is incredible. I feel like 90% of my top Super Nintendo games are on this little beautiful console. However, I don't want to deal with the stress of trying to find one. I know Nintendo has said they're making substantially more SNES mini consoles than they did with the NES. That said, it still stresses me out to know that I would have to refresh. I've been refreshing Best Buy's pre-order page like 10 times an hour, and I don't want to stand in line. So my justification was going to be, hey, I have all of these games. I have multiple copies of all of these games on there that I would ever want. So it's not super important to me that I get it. And then my grandma called.
Ruh-roh.
And then my grandma
Can't
called.
disappoint grandma.
So my grandma called, and for those of you who don't know, my grandma is the one who introduced me to video games, and and Super Nintendo is her favorite console. And so she's like, hey, have you heard of this thing called the Super Nintendo Classic Mini? She's like, man, I would love to have that in my bedroom. Do you know how I could get my hands on one of those? And then I put on my war paint, and now I'm on a mission
Grandma.
to get one of these things.
Well, if I see them, I will be sure to grab an extra copy for grandma.
Thank you.
Grandma Brombacher.
Grandma
Britt.
Brombacher.
Yeah, so that's something that is, super challenging. The UK pre-orders went on sale first. They immediately sold out. Best Buy, Walmart, and Amazon had pre-orders up first here in the United States. Those are already sold out. I signed up for the email alerts for all three of them.
Wait, hold on. Best Buy sold out? Last I checked.
Of their pre-orders. Yeah.
Best Buy is not the place you want to pre-order literally anything Nintendo, because they cancel amiibo orders, run out of amiibos. I've never had anything like Nintendo.
So the only reason I interrupted you is because I checked Amazon, and Amazon says currently unavailable, which means they sold out. Walmart, unavailable, but Best Buy says coming soon. At least they did last time I checked. So I'm not sure.
Maybe I looked at the verbiage wrong. Let me double check. Let's look right now.
Because I've been refreshing that, and I've been watching the Twitters, and everyone's like, hey, they uploaded key art just yesterday. Maybe they're going to go on sale soon, and maybe they've already gone on sale, and I haven't been able to check it out because I've been in San Francisco.
It is interesting that GameStop has not opened pre-orders yet, because GameStop has a very long history of having exclusive partnerships with Nintendo, specifically Nintendo hardware. So I have to imagine that GameStop is maybe either finagling some kind of a deal with them to get more than some of the other retailers, or maybe they're going to get an exclusive edition, because we've seen now that there are 3 separate versions of this SNES Classic. So the UK version is different than the one in the United States, and then Japan also got a special classic edition that is modeled
version.
after the Super Famicom. Did I say that right?
So pretty.
Yeah.
Wait. You think that's the best version?
It's pretty. It's
They
the
lose-
pretty version.
They're
Well,
losing
it has
Earthbound.
It has different
didn't know
games.
that.
Yeah.
So the Japanese version loses Earthbound, Kirby's Dream Course,
That's
Super
weird.
Castlevania 4, and Super Punch-Out, but it gains Fire Emblem Mystery of the Emblem.
That's why I want it.
Hold on. Legend of the Mystical Ninja, Panel de Pon, Tetris Attack, and Super Soccer. And both systems will include Star Fox 2. So
I want to know, when they say Final Fantasy 3, is it Final Fantasy 3 or is it Final Fantasy 6, which was released in America as 3? Has anyone answered that question yet?
we could probably
Nope.
ask Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Dear Nintendo.
Because
what
if it's
is
Final
this?
Fantasy 6, I
Hey,
will buy the
Bill.
damn thing just for Final Fantasy 6. Because all the ports are garbage.
I think a question a lot of people are asking is, where is Chrono Trigger
that's the other thing.
for
Like,
the North America? I think all of them. I don't think any of them.
No.
Yeah,
feature.
it just says
It-
coming
yeah,
soon.
it-
You were correct.
it
Okay.
boggles my mind that of all of the like role-playing games and of all the classics that they could put onto that thing, that Chrono Trigger is the one they skate over. And I wonder if it's because there's like, it's been released on everything and ported and you can get it on like PSN or whatever, but I just don't, like, I don't understand. I do not understand that move. My mind is boggled.
You know
I am
what would have been a
confused.
huge fucking deal?
Mother 3?
Yeah. I love you. You know
Nintendo!
me. Yes. If
So-
they had released Mother 3 on that.
I don't think they would do that though.
No,
if they're gonna
probably
release
not.
If they're
No.
gonna release Mother 3, it's gonna be like
Standalone.
and boom, Mother 3 standalone. Because if Mother 3 was on that thing, then there's like no way
Anybody would
in
get
heck.
it.
Like would you pay? I mean, no, that's a dumb. Before I asked the question, I knew the answer.
I don't mean
would
that
you
nobody-
pay
I'm
$80
saying-
for Mother 3?
Yes.
People,
I bet you
people
a lot
would
of
be
people
more
would.
pissed that they wouldn't be able to get their hands on it, though.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah.
there would be more
Right.
anger.
I don't believe Nintendo at all that they're gonna make this more available. They said that with the Switch. They said that like there's this one you can't find one.
Right.
You
Well,
have to like
I didn't find one. One found me.
right, but you still can't find
Mysterious
them.
benefactor.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about people being upset about the apparent lack of units is, to me, the thing that's concerning is not just our doubt of Nintendo coming true to their word saying there will be significantly more available than the NES Classic, is the time frame with which they say it will be on sale. So it goes on sale September 29th, and they have said definitively now, unless they go back on that later, that it will only be on sale for the calendar year of 2017, meaning hypothetically, come the end of December, they
Goodbye
are not
forever.
going to continue making shipments of this item. I think that's a huge miss. I don't know why they would cut off sales after 3 months. The NES Classic was on sale for around 5 months before Nintendo stopped shipping it, and you could only buy it like through a third-party reseller like eBay or Amazon, who's somebody who's selling it. I looked. The NES Classic is on Amazon right now for $230.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Too
I'm
much.
like, I mean, if I'm going to spend $230, I'm buying a Switch,
Right.
right? So, I don't know. It's frustrating. I think it's exciting because the SNES in particular was a console that I spent a really big chunk of my formative gaming life on, more so than the NES because I was so much younger when the NES came out and I spent time. Like the SNES was like my jam.
Yeah,
I
same.
loved that
Because
console.
actually, now that I have a Switch, it's the second console that I've owned from Nintendo. But the first one was Super Nintendo, and so like for me, there was definitely that nostalgia factor of like, oh, I used to have this thing and I loved it. But then
And it's cute
realistic
mini.
me says, I don't need that. What I need is Virtual Console on the Switch so that I can play Donkey Kong Country
Right.
on the go.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what's frustrating also a lot of people is, where is their virtual console? I mean, I know Nintendo's talked about it, and I think they said next year they're going to talk more.
They're waiting until their like subscription
Yeah,
online
yeah.
service thing launches.
So
Yeah.
it's just kind of not, I don't want to say the word shady, because I think the SNES Mini is a fantastic deal. And if if you haven't picked up these games in a long time, great. If there's some of your favorites, great. If you just want it because it's cute, great. But it's like, virtual console, we want to know more details about that. And here you are releasing all of your like top Nintendo games, but no virtual console mentions, no confirmations. But
It is curious why they haven't spoken about Virtual Console yet. Do you think it's because they're waiting until they can ship more Switches out before they focus on, hey, here's another big software offering for people who already have a Switch? Instead, maybe they're holding that announcement until after Super Mario Odyssey releases, and then they'll talk about Virtual Console?
it's weird that that Switch launched without a virtual console, right?
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
can't help but think that maybe they don't have it all worked out yet. Maybe they're trying to test the waters and see what numbers look like.
Yeah, I'm with Brittany on that one. I'm almost like I would be more inclined to buy the SNES Classic if it was like a software package for your Switch. because I would rather be able to carry all of those games with me with the console that I use the most now than sit down in front of the TV with it. Because it's like a lot of those games are on everything else already. I just feel like it's not like, yeah, it's a good collector's item, but I feel like they would make more and get farther if that's what they did with it.
Agree.
Yep.
I think we all are in agreement there, and I'm sure a lot of the people listening and watching the show would much rather have Virtual Console than another classic. What do you think about the rumors that the N64 Classic is in the pipeline, is coming up next?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Really? I mean, I could see it coming. That's what she said. Thank you, Steimer.
I think it would have to be more expensive, and I don't think they'd be able to fit as many games on the thing. Like, you probably wouldn't get 30. Maybe you'd get like half of that.
Yeah, I don't know the technical mumbo jumbo, so I can't really speak on that. But I could see it coming, like I said. But again, the idea of it just kind of stresses me out because it's already like chaos with the Super Nintendo, and it's like, oh, trying to get an N64. No, thank you.
For me, I don't need another thing that I can hook up to my TV. I just don't. I've got enough of those things. I've got all my HDMI ports are filled. They're spoken for. So what I need
an extension
is my virtual console that goes with me everywhere.
Word.
All right, Nintendo, you've heard. We have 2 questions. When are you localizing Mother 3?
It was in my what game would you make video.
Same
like,
here.
what? Come
It was
on,
in mine
man.
too.
And when's Virtual Console coming?
know.
All
And
right.
also, which Final Fantasy is it?
Yeah, which one?
And
Come
that
on.
too. We'll try to find out answers to these questions. All right, so next story. The Game Critics Awards for E3 2017 nominations and winners were both announced this week. So we won't waste our time going through all of the nominees. If you guys want to look at those, it's GameCriticsAwards.com if you want to look at every game that was nominated. So the Game Critics Awards are a really long-running, very sought-after award that publishers and developers want because it is meant to represent the kind of best of the best of video game publications. Now, in recent years, they've expanded the pool of people who can vote by including some influencers, by including some YouTubers and people who have had a history of doing video game reviews, accredited previews, news stories, things like that. But it's a very difficult group to get invited to. Most of the time you need to have a certain amount of years that you've been covering. You have to do X amount of stories per year and yada yada. The criteria is long. So what's interesting about these awards is that in order to be considered for an award, the game must be playable and it must be at least 5 minutes of hands-on time, which is an important distinction because there were some glaring omissions from this list. Most notably in my mind was Spider-Man, but that's because it wasn't hands-on for the people who were voting. And so just keep that in mind when you hear some of these winners and nominations. There were some other games. I'll find a list of the games that were missing from this. So best of show, no surprise, Super Mario Odyssey. This was what everybody was talking about. You guys all talked about Super Mario and how you loved playing it, and now I'm like even more sad that I didn't get to try it.
Just gotta wait till October.
Soon. It's coming so soon.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So best original game. I'm going to run down these quickly and then we can talk about them afterwards. Best original game, Mario plus Rabbids. Kingdom Battle. Best console game, Super Mario Odyssey. Best VR game, Lone Echo. Best PC game, Destiny 2. Surprise there. Best handheld, Metroid Samus Returns. Best hardware, Xbox One X. Best action game, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Best action adventure, Super Mario Odyssey. Best role-playing, Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. Best racing, Forza Motorsport 7. Best fighting game, Dragon Ball FighterZ.
Yes.
Best sports game, FIFA 18. Best strategy, Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Surprise there. Best family game, Hidden Agenda.
Wait.
That's actually best family / party game. They kind of left out part of that title there.
Wait, wasn't Hidden Agenda the creepy one?
Yes, this is why it's weird. Best online multiplayer, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Best independent game, The Artful Escape of Francis Vendetti. So, this is an interesting list. I think that it's no surprise that Super Mario Odyssey, took a couple of these big categories.
Ate everyone's lunch, yes.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to love that
possessed
showing.
all
the
the
hat
awards.
possessed everyone and took all the awards.
No, captured.
No, it's puts a possession.
Captured.
We've had this conversation. I'm
Nintendo
calling
Well, I
it
know,
possession.
but somebody in Patreon actually left a really good comment, and they were like, "You guys, it's captured. Like
Cappy.
Right, but I don't
on.
care. It's possession.
Alexis,
My mom is a ghost hunter, and I know what possession is when I see it. Just saying.
okay.
She should get a hat and she should go captured.
So I know what my surprise is on this list. Alexa, is there any of these winners that you're like, whoa, what?
Well, I made a face when you read that Destiny 2 got best PC game.
Yeah.
Because
So
Destiny 2 looks like Destiny 1, and I don't.
But now it's on the
Get
PC and it looks real good.
it looks beautiful
Looks very
on
shiny.
the PC.
Okay.
Obviously, games aren't judged on their graphics alone. What I think is interesting is that the community called for Destiny to be brought to PC through the entire last 3 years that this game has been out. And Bungie listened and they said, okay, we're going to make sure Destiny 2 is on PC. And based off my hands-on time with Destiny at the PC, like super fast. It's very responsive. The graphics look fantastic. I didn't get to spend, very much time. I think I did like the 5 to 7 minute story mission, and then there was like a 15-minute PvP mission where I just got crushed because I can't do WASD in PvP very well. But overall, the game looked really excellent. I'm gonna pull up what the nominees were for what it was competing against. But Britt, is there anything on this list that stood out to you?
Honestly, no. I kind of made a face at Destiny 2 as well because
We had a moment.
we had a moment. No, and from what I've read, Destiny 2 looks fantastic on PC. I did also make another face at the very last game you mentioned because I don't know if I had heard of it.
The Artful Escape's the one where you have the guitar?
Yeah, from the Xbox showcase where it's like the guy, it's like sort of like paper cut. It's like a sideways thing, and he plays the guitar and is like jumping through the air.
It's like a platformer.
It's very, very beautiful.
music rhythm sort of thing.
It's like a music rhythm game.
We're looking at some screenshots right now.
It's very pretty.
So the thing with the Xbox One conference is there's so much happening that like half the games afterwards when we were having our conversation, I had to refresh my memory and it's like, okay, what was that one again? And what was that one? It was good to see, you said Hidden Agenda. Yeah, it was good to see Hidden Agenda on there because I think that looks really interesting.
But is that a family game? It looks.
I don't
So
remember
this category is best
what that
family / social game. So the other games that were nominated: Drop Mix from Harmonix, Just Dance 2018, Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, Hidden Agenda, and That's You.
Well, no wonder it won. What?
Well,
Yeah.
So the
Well,
thing
I don't know. Going up against Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, I mean, Lego does a fantastic.
don't think
TT makes excellent Lego
it's a great
games.
co-op. They're great co-op games.
Yeah.
I don't think of them as PC games.
No, this
Oh,
is
sorry.
best
Sorry.
family
Oh,
game.
sorry. My bad. I was thinking of the Destiny thing and I got confused.
Yeah, so Hidden Agenda, I think, really showcased a unique party mode where this is the game that Supermassive is making. It's detective-based, and one person plays with a controller, and then up to 4 people can join in playing on their mobile device, very similar to what Jackbox Party Pack does, where you can all, like, there's like a code and a lobby you join in, and you can kind of solve this, like, mystery together. And then at some point during the game, one player gets like a secret message, a hidden agenda.
Oh, excuse
and you have
me.
to try to keep it secret from the rest of the players.
I was mixing up Hidden Agenda with that creepy outpatient thing.
You mean
Like the
the
Asylum
Until
game?
Dawn.
The Until Dawn, the outpatient thing, and I was like, what
Inpatient,
the
I think it's called?
heck? Like,
let's see.
I don't remember.
you're
yeah, the
you're a
it's
patient
called
in
the
an
inpatient,
asylum,
not
the inpatient, the
inpatient.
the inpatient,
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure it's the inpatient.
So the cool
yeah.
thing with Hidden
Inpatient.
Agenda
I know
is
it's
it
the
uses,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
didn't know about this until after E3, but Sony announced PlayLink, which is
What?
it's the app that you'll use to play Hidden Agenda. Now it's been a week since I've learned about this, so if my facts are a little incorrect, bear with me. So like Andrea was saying is that, you have someone using a controller and then you have to make like very like heavy decisions. Like you're a police officer and it's like, okay, do I save my partner or do I save the victim of this mass murderer? And the people watching and observing use this PlayLink app to vote for what they want to do. And then the decision that has the most votes, that's the decision that goes through. That's why it's interesting.
Huh.
Cool.
I'm excited to try it out. I think it'll
Yeah.
be a fun game for us to stream when it
Exactly.
does finally come out. So
like a
going back to PC,
Yes.
Yes.
the other category or the other games that were in this category were I just had it.
We can hear.
There's
Also,
a
like,
cat meowing.
genuine.
So Middle Earth: Shadow of War.
Are you kidding me?
Really?
Mountain Blade 2: Bannerlords, Total War, Warhammer 2, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. 3 of those games have the Roman numeral 2 in them, by
I'm
the way.
grumpy about
Yes,
this decision.
they do.
Why?
Come
Because
on,
Shadow of
game
War didn't
critics.
win?
I mean, I may be biased because I'm a giant Tolkien nerd, but I just feel like from what I've seen of Destiny 2, it just looks like more of
1.
Destiny 1, and like all those other games sort of iterate a little bit on like what they're doing.
Well, you don't know what the vote was. Maybe the vote was really close. Maybe it was like 49-51%.
I'm still
Maybe it was really split. You
Also,
don't
was
know.
the Xbox
maybe.
One X playable for more than 5 minutes? Did it meet that criteria?
Yes, I saw them giving them away to celebrities in the
What?
Xbox space.
Are you?
Define celebrity.
Like movie stars that were coming to E3.
They don't have time to play that shit.
Yes,
I
they
want
do.
to
to
be
us.
a movie star.
They definitely
to
do.
us.
And if they weren't giving away the actual box, they were giving away they were promising hookups. I just overheard some conversations while we were playing Sea of Thieves.
I know people.
There
from
were
Microsoft
some
watch this.
recognizable handsome movie stars who were like, yo, hook me up. And I was like, can you hook me up too? Wait, I'm not a movie star.
We're your actual friends. How dare you?
No, it happens.
Grumpy.
Everybody does it. All
Yeah.
the pubs and
You
the
might not know
hardware
this off the-
makers do it.
Sorry, you might not know this off the top of your head. Was Sea of Thieves a nominee for anything?
I
of
can
Thieves.
look. Let's
Oh,
see
yeah.
here.
Sea of
I
Thieves,
would be
because we
surprised
had
if it wasn't.
so. I know we
Yes,
talked
it was
about
nominated for Best Original Game.
Okay.
Cool.
And
Online multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised it didn't win only because
Yes, multiplayer.
it's been around for a couple years now, or maybe at least a year. Like it was
A
here,
year.
it was there
I
last
think
year
It
too.
was there last year, yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
been-
probably like old hat at this point for the
Well,
judges.
and it's-
for the judges.
It's
and the
early.
tough part about a game like that is that it kind of straddles the genre divide of what kind of game it is, and games that are difficult to define sometimes get lost in the shuffle in the voting process.
Totally.
Unlike games where it's a very clear like action adventure, or this is a first person shooter. You know, games that are like, this is like a shared world adventure, kind of an action adventure, but it's also like
Sort of like competitive, but
sort
not.
of.
But
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know how to describe that game. It's weird. I guess like,
Breaking the mold.
yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
But I guess, it didn't win anything. So if you guys want to look at the full rundown of who the nominees are again and who the winners are,
Be grumpy like me.
that's GameCriticsAwards.com.
I have to say, your cat sounds like a peacock. Have you ever heard a peacock before?
Oh my god,
have,
peacocks are
actually.
terrifying.
I'm getting
They
flashbacks.
meow?
So, no, they go meow or whatever.
They make really weird
Yeah,
sounds that you
so
wouldn't
there's
expect
a
to
few
come from a
peacocks
bird.
by my house,
That's
and I
true.
hear it every night, and I'm getting like flashbacks.
Oh my
That's all.
God. Do you have a peacock nest near your house?
Nearby.
Jesus.
Yep.
Gotta take care of that.
Well, be
get
careful.
your sword out and
Don't let the
go
peacocks get you.
adventuring.
They're pretty. Okay.
Okay, next story. Before we get to this, we're gonna do the Assassin's Creed story first, and then we'll come back to the BioWare story. So, Assassin's Creed Rebellion was announced, a new mobile game coming from Ubisoft, and it is going to be a free-to-play strategy role-playing game coming soon, quotation marks, to iOS and Android devices. Assassin's Creed is a series of stealth-based action games. If you didn't know what Assassin's Creed was, the story, of course, coming from VentureBeat. The franchise has sold over 100 million games. I did not know that. That's incredible. So in this game, players will design their own hideouts in a grid-like manner that resemble the vaults that you guys saw in Fallout Shelter. Remember that popular game that Bethesda made a lot of money on?
Yep.
Rebellion takes place
man.
during the Spanish Inquisition, which was also the setting for the setting for last year's Assassin's Creed movie. Did you guys?
The
I
Spanish
did not see
Inquisition.
that movie.
I watched it, and I was so incredibly bored, and I hate saying that because
No,
it was
it's
so...
as a fellow Assassin's Creed fan, it was tragically bad.
Okay, good. Okay,
And
good.
I love Michael Fassbender.
That actually makes me
Assassin's
want to
Creed?
watch it more. The fact that it's bad.
yeah,
I don't know why.
Let's
it
do a
was
watch
sad.
along.
We could do a watch along.
Let's
Yeah.
drink and watch it.
Drinking game.
Drinking
Drink every
makes
time you're
everything
sad.
better. The cast of characters in Rebellion span the entire franchise's complicated timeline, including the Italian Renaissance's Ezio, and Ubisoft promises that the game will have a roster of over 40 assassins. So I guess we can probably expect all of the protagonists from every single game to appear, and then some.
So like 2 girls.
Yeah.
Aveline?
Well, there's more than 2 girls that play big roles throughout the entire franchise.
But there were only the two.
Lady
assassins.
There was Aveline
And Evie.
from Libertine, and then the Evie from Syndicate.
Syndicate.
Origins the new
I
one.
almost said Origins. I know. I was like, what?
That's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
Sometimes it's hard to keep it. I know they look so cute too.
They're
Funko
adorable.
Pops.
They look like little chibi versions.
it
Or you
makes
said
me
Funko
not
Pops.
Funko
Yeah.
Pops.
Not scared of them.
They
Or,
look
not
like,
intimidating anymore.
I like it.
God.
Okay, so the I'm gonna play this game. I'm excited. Put it out already.
But it looks so. We were watching the trailer earlier, and it looks exactly like Fallout Shelter, down to like the way the little like.
Well, I
thing
mean,
is
it's a
set
half
up.
a dollhouse, right? Like, I mean, there's only one way to really set up that kind of building on a phone.
Well, and
Right.
Fallout Shelter didn't create that.
Yeah, that's
that
right,
formula.
right.
Yeah.
But
But in this one, you stab
Are they very
people.
blatantly ripping it off? Yes.
No, they're
yes,
adding
it's a
more
blatant
stabbing.
yes, it's a blatant
Yes, it's
rip-off
true.
with more stabbing, even more stabbing.
They're
so much
reskinning it
stabbing.
in a different way, which is fine. I mean, I'm perfectly happy for them to do this. I don't think it's a big deal. When you talk about mobile gaming, there are tons of iterations of the same type of formula.
They all rip each other off.
But to ask the typical Steimer question, can you bang in it?
What, in Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed isn't really known for the banging.
Well, if it was a true Fallout Shelter clone, then you'd be able to bang.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, make baby assassins.
Okay.
Right.
So
Breed your assassins.
God.
Breed
We
a
will go-
colony of assassins in Assassin's Creed
we will
Rebellion.
go
I would
on
play
a
that
research
game for
mission
sure.
and try to find out if we can bang.
Make
So I
it
got
happen,
a quick
Ubisoft.
I will
question.
tweet to Ubisoft and be like,
I've been stumped. What's the cooperative Assassin's Creed game? What one was that?
that was Assassin's
Unity?
Creed Unity.
Unity. Okay, that was the last one I played. Sorry, that's been on my mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a bad one.
But it was
You
so
should play
funny
Syndicate.
because all the eyeballs were bulging out. It was great.
Oh, yeah.
I got the glitch where like everyone's skin disappeared. So they
Oh,
were just
God.
floating eyes and teeth, and it was really great.
That's
No.
I played, like-
terrifying.
Okay, so with that
I'd play
said,
a whole game like that.
I'm
just
excited.
like that.
I'm excited for Origins. Very excited. So I'm going to have a new, fresh perspective on the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ditto.
Please
Okay.
include the skin disappearing.
Last
glitch.
news
Thank
story
you.
of the week. This one comes from Game Informer, which isn't the original source. I'll get to the actual source down below. But the tone of Anthem's story will be very much like Star Wars, says Bioware. So Anthem is the newly announced Bioware game. And according to this story, lead writer Drew Karpyshyn?
Drew's back for this?
He is going to be working on this game. He is the lead writer from Mass Effect 1 and
Context.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So that's the context. Is that that is an important piece of context, and so
That's huge.
That's exciting for Mass Effect fans. And in a recent interview with Canada's CBC News, Bioware Edmonton General Manager Aaron Flynn mentioned, Flynn, we love you, mentioned the game would be a science fantasy game, leaning away from the harder sci-fi of Mass Effect and more into the fantastical tone of other sci-fi stories. According to Flynn, the story of Anthem is very much like Star Wars, very much like the Marvel universe, where you see a lot of amazing things happening. Mass Effect is more of our real hardcore science fiction IP, Flynn said. This one is much more about just having fun in a game world that is lush and exotic and really sucks you in. Flynn also said much of the game's inspiration comes from the people who made it. We've had folks who've moved into Canada who are immigrants, and so often those stories find their way in. And we have LGBTQ members, and those stories are making their way into the game.
So can you bang in it?
I mean,
Obviously.
it's a Bioware game.
But
Oh,
Drew,
banging.
I
Okay.
believe Drew's also written Star Wars novels. I could be
Ooh.
incorrect on that, but he's definitely written his own
that
To Google
sci-fi.
that.
So he's very much a sci-fi writer, and like she mentioned, he was Mass Effect 1 lead writer, and I think also 2. And then,
2 was
then he
like
kind
my
of
favorite.
So I'm like, when you're like, Drew, I'm like, Drew's back. Oh boy,
Yeah, so why are you so excited?
because he wrote really good games, and I want
Mass
him
Effect 2
back.
is one of the best games of all time.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's really the only reason. 'cause
So
he's really
he's
good.
written Star Wars. He's written for Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic, Darth Bane: Path of Destruction, Darth Bane: Rule of Two, Darth Bane: Dynasty of Evil, The Old Republic: Revan, Star Wars: The Old Republic: Annihilation.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's also done Neverwinter Nights, Mass Effect: Revelation, and Mass Effect.
Drew, I trust you
Yes.
with this task.
We all
Don't screw it
trust
up.
in Drew. In Drew,
In Drew we trust.
In Drew we trust.
So let's talk about the fact that it's not going to be super sci-fi-y it's going to be more like space opera-y. How do we feel about that?
I think,
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's great, especially if you want to. I said especially if you want to focus on exploration, right? I think that's
Sexploration.
Sexploration. Damn. No, I'm not really.
Jet-powered love in the sky.
I'm not really a huge
That's an
sci-fi
idea.
fan. It kind of turns me off a little bit because it's too like it's future-y, but it's kind of like current at the same time. So like the only reason I love Mass Effect so much is because it's a Bioware game. But games like Watch Dogs and like Infamous, it's kind of hard for me to get into them because it's so like current and like sci-fi, not sci-fi, but like current games and sci-fi I can't get into.
You mean like games that incorporate a lot of technology into the story?
Yeah, thank you. So that's why I like space opera-y, like it sounds like lush, like you said, like a vast world to explore, a lot going on. I can get behind that.
Yeah, the CG trailer that we saw that showcased that scene, which looked like it was taking place inside of a market in a busy city. The graphics looked fantastic, but the setting, if you kind of look into the background and where they are, that does feel very Star Wars in a lot of ways. And I think it's good for them to maybe take a broader approach so they can reach potentially more gamers, and hopefully more people will be able to fall in love with Bioware games like we all have.
Well, they also need to differentiate between this and Mass Effect.
Absolutely.
Right.
So that's a good way to do it.
And I feel like Anthem I feel like the camp and the fantasy that comes with the tone of something like Star Wars would work better in a multiplayer setting. I feel like that people would take to that a little bit better. So I'm down with that.
Color us excited.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for our first segment, which BT dubs, everybody. We are moving to a new 3-segment format. We didn't talk about that at the top of the show.
Oh, hey.
But we've kind of been listening to your feedback. We've seen how the content has been going so far, and we thought it would make sense for us to do 3 segments to span the whole show instead of breaking it into 4, which would allow us to take more time with news if there's more news, and allow us to take more time with hands-on impressions if we've all gotten a chance to play a lot of stuff. So that said, we're going to wrap up the news, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about what we've been playing.
Goodness.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the What's Good Games podcast. Hopefully you didn't accidentally jump to the second segment. If you didn't know, this
Silly
is the What's
goose.
Good Games podcast.
FYI.
That was good.
So, ladies, this week, Alexa and Britt, you both got a chance to play Final Fantasy 15's new DLC episode Prompto
Yes.
on the stream. If you
Yes.
guys missed their playthrough, you can catch that archive on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/what'sgoodgames.
It was a time.
So tell us about your experience for the people who did not get a chance to watch your playthrough.
So episode Prompto is a stealth shooter, which is not what a Final Fantasy game is. No,
true.
they literally took the whole combat formula. So in every episode, you play as a different character in the game. And the episode Gladiolus came out in March. Brittany and I talked about it. We were not thrilled with it. It felt very half-assed. Episode Prompto revamps the gameplay formula again for Prompto. And Prompto, if you played Final Fantasy 15, is a gunslinger. So he uses guns. And they completely remapped the controls to the controller. Like, instead of using the face buttons, you use R1, and you can pick up guns off of enemies and random lockers that spawn infinite guns, and just pick them up, and you have to like aim and shoot and do stuff like that. So it's absolutely a shooter. You have to find cover. There's hordes of enemies you have to go up against. It's basically structured like a shooter.
Metal Gear Prompto.
Metal Gear Prompto.
So combat aside, there were several moments where you got a little choked up, a little emotional. So let's talk about what's happening story-wise. What's going on here?
Also, I guess spoiler
So
alert.
should we tell people that there are spoilers? You want to not talk about spoilers? How do you want to do this?
Honestly, like, this is a spoiler. Like, all of the episodes are set in a part of the game that's like really far in. So like, if you haven't finished Final Fantasy 15 and haven't played episode Prompto, maybe skip ahead, because it's kind of hard to talk about what episode Prompto is without mentioning the big thing.
Okay.
Also, the trailers completely spoil everything. So if you watched a Prompto trailer, didn't play Final Fantasy 15, I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yeah, the trailer is super, super spoilery.
So, okay, so you've had your warning. If you want to have a virgin Final Fantasy experience with Prompto, episode Prompto, you go ahead and just skip ahead like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
All right, Britt.
Okay, so
We're having a moment.
Prompto. Okay, anyway. Yeah, so near the end of the game, a thing well, we're doing spoilers. So,
Yep, they've been warned. I love you all, sorry.
This
Arden-
game's already been ruined for me. It's fine.
Arden messes with Noctis and Prompto, and in turn essentially has Noctis knock Prompto off of a moving train, and then Prompto kind of goes MIA for a while.
A long chunk of the game, he's gone.
Right. So this DLC follows Prompto and what he is doing during that time, and it uncovers a lot of his past. You know, in the Final Fantasy 15s, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we don't really know about Prompto's Magitech creation until he comes back.
We do not. There are hints, as like Arden basically drops hints that so the enemy army is made up of Magitech soldiers, which are people that have been infused with Magitech, which is magic tech.
Basically, as one might assume.
So we learn very, very briefly at the end of the game that Prompto is as a child was one of the people that they infused with this Magitech. And if you watched the Final Fantasy 15 anime, you see a chubby, lonely kid Prompto, very much alone, and it just raises a lot of questions about like where are his parents, like where did he come from, like what's going on. So this DLC focuses on Prompto finding out his origin.
Right. And so when I played Final Fantasy 15 for the first time, I was like, okay, that's a huge plot moment.
It hurt. It was like
why aren't you talking more about this? This is a huge deal. So thankfully, you know, 6 months later, we get the DLC is it 7?
7 months later.
Okay, 7 months later, we get the DLC that uncovers it, and it was really emotional. There were a lot of emotional parts. What are you doing, Andrew? Oh, there's a lot of Prompto on our screen.
If you guys are watching this, you can clearly see there's lots of Prompto on the video.
Our unnamed producer was very prompt with the Promptos.
Wow. Okay, so anyway, in this DLC, you learn about Prompto, his true origins, how he was created, what his purpose is, and you watch him kind of cope with that. And it was very emotional. Unfortunately for me, I feel like that was kind of overshadowed by the gameplay.
Yeah, so the DLC did a very good job of putting a lot of very big emotional moments into this small package. We beat it in about 2 hours, and that was running through some of the horde areas and just not fighting anybody, because you can totally do that, and it doesn't matter. But like they showed, you know, little baby Prompto talking about who am I? What if people don't want? What if people don't want me anymore? It brought up a lot of questions of like if you become someone for other people, then like who are you to yourself? And like the people that love you for you no matter what. And he kind of had to learn that about his friends and about himself. But the gameplay got repetitive in some of the closed spaces. Aranea joins your party, and the second she joined, I actually, and if you watch the stream, you saw this, I did nothing and sat back while she just killed everyone for me. So you don't have to do anything because she can one-hit kill things. There were 2 final bosses, and the first one was actually like pretty good for a sub boss.
Are you talking about the robotic monkey?
The monkey,
Yeti. Okay.
the robotic Yeti monkey.
Yeti monkey, yes.
But the last boss is literally just like a point and shoot. There's really no way to go wrong, and it felt like a really anticlimactic finish to something that was just so emotionally powerful. Like I feel like it was like a at the end of
You've
like
seen
a
it
crescendo.
In many video games, you're on the back of a moving vehicle or moving something, and you have a turret, and you just have to point and shoot.
Yep.
And this thing you're killing is supposed to be his dad. And it's just so like
Dad.
I mean, there's great moments for Prompto as a character. You really see him grow. But I mean, Final Fantasy kind of tried to do the shooter thing, and in my opinion, just watching you play Alexa, it didn't do a very good job at it. I mean, I understand Prompto is a gunslinger. He doesn't have special abilities like all the other guys in the Final Fantasy 15 crew, but it was frustrating for me when it was like, find a way to escape. That was your objective, and then you would kill everyone in the room, and then another wave would just randomly come in, and that's such an old mechanic, and
There were a lot of dudes. When I was watching you guys play, I was like, holy crap, there was like... You fought like 30 people in a room at one point.
There was, so the thing that kept tripping me up is like,
Final Fantasy Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah, basically.
Kind of is.
I don't normally play shooters, but I'm not like a dum-dum. Like I can point and shoot. However, they completely remapped the controller, and my fingers, because I have played a lot of Final Fantasy 15, I kept automatically going back to the normal control scheme, and you saw me, I wanted to like I just had my gun out and I kept going in and out of focus because I thought it was lock on hit, and it tripped me up as someone who's played a lot of that game.
So, general consensus, would recommend if you're into the story.
It's better than Episode Gladiolus. It really is.
Very emotional. Just prepare for some gameplay.
The ending is
But for the information you get from the DLC, totally worth it.
It's good. There's another person with a name we can't pronounce.
Oh God.
Some new characters, some new stuff. But I think they did a really good job with that piece of information. And now when I go back and replay Final Fantasy 15 on New Game Plus, because I'm crazy, I have that piece of information like in my head while I'm playing that. So yeah. It's good. It's a good piece of DLC. Now we just have to wait 6 months for episode Ignis. 6 months. December. Thanks a lot.
Don't sweat it. You'll have plenty of other things to play in the meantime.
But I'm gonna sweat it because I want that Iggy DLC.
That's a very critical piece of info.
I'm sure it just means it's going to be way better.
Yes, Steimer.
We can only hope. So
Yeah.
Steimer, and we'll get back to you ladies in a second. I know you played other stuff, but I wanted to talk about that so people can go watch the stream archive if you missed it. But you've been playing some stuff.
I have. I've been playing things.
You got a Switch.
I got a Switch, and I've been playing my very first Zelda.
All right, thoughts, feelings, everything. Go.
Everything.
Thoughts,
Give it
feelings.
to me.
I mean, I don't have super strong feelings about it yet. I have feelings
Okay,
of
wait. How far are you?
like baby into it.
I mean,
What do you
how many-
feel?
Like
do you
2
have
hours? 1
like
hour?
4 hours?
Oh,
Do you have any like what's like?
She's
do you have
still
any
cutting
tingles
grass.
or any
Maybe
like
she doesn't know how to cut grass yet.
any
No.
feelings?
I texted you and you didn't text me back, and I was like,
Do I
Britt,
cut
how
the
do I
grass?
cook in this game?
Yeah,
cook?
sorry.
Because I kept walking up to just regular fires and being like, why can I not do anything?
You can
with
do that
this?
though. You can drop a piece of food on the edge of the fire and
I
it'll
was
cook.
afraid it would burn up.
It
It
does
does burn.
if you don't pick it up quick enough. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
No, that's good to know because
Yeah.
the game doesn't tell you most of this
Nope.
stuff.
Nope.
Well, that's the
Which is
beauty
fun.
of Zelda,
That's
right?
what I've heard, but
that discovery.
I get nervous about doing the wrong thing.
I'm like you. I look at walkthroughs. I watch video guides. Any article that's like 10 things you should know before you play this game. I'm like, yes, give me all
What
of
do I
these
need to know
articles.
so I don't mess it up? 'Cause
Yeah.
I will. So I actually am going to talk to you later. Or I'll talk to you right now. Can I sell gems or should I keep them? Like the hunks of
rupees?
ore that you get off of
If
things,
you
like an opal, for instance.
If you desperately need the rupees, go ahead and sell them, but you should hold on to them until you're at least like 40 hours.
What do I sell
Okay,
for money?
so this is the beauty of Zelda is
Food.
everyone I've talked to plays
Everything.
it differently.
You
Some
can
people
sell food.
You can. Yeah, some people go straight for the main objectives. Some people like me, I've only done one of the divine beasts and I'm about probably 80 to 100 fucking tingle.
It's
I'm
a
about 80 to
big-
100 hours in. And so for me in the past couple in a couple past like maybe 20 hours, I finally learned like what the gems are for, you know. So it just depends on how you want to play it.
Got it. Right now, I'm sort of just wandering around.
I do that. That's the best way to do it.
I was just told to go find the 4 divine beasts, and I was like, all right, that's good. Now I can like wander around and enjoy a little bit. It's definitely like I'm like, this is my kind of game, but that's kind of how I feel. Like I'm not overjoyed at this point, but I'm like, this is hitting the spot and this feels good. I'm getting
it's a gift.
getting used to the fact that things break down, because that's not something that I'm used to in a lot of games. I don't.
It took me a while to get used to that too in a Zelda game.
Yeah.
So you're not alone. My recommendation to you would be explore. You can uncover, I would say, like 95% of the map, like right out the gate. What you should focus on: finding Korok seeds, upgrading your Shiznit. I haven't said Shiznit in like 20 years.
How do I find the Koroks? One, I accidentally found it because there was this flower and I went over to look at it, and then it was like, it keeps
that's
moving.
one way.
Okay, general rule of thumb, anything that looks a little suspicious, explore it.
Pick up every rock.
Listen for like a little jingle sound. And uncover the map and do all of the shrines that you can find and build up your heart meter, build up your stamina. And
I couldn't get to one on top of a mountain and I died over and over again trying to get there.
It'll still be there.
Yeah, mark it on your map, save it for later.
I just realized, thankfully I'm still pretty early in the game, but I was like, man, there was a chest in that thing I didn't know how to get. And then I realized on the map you can put a little stamp there. And so now I put a little stamp outside of the shrines where I'm like, I had a chest in there that I don't remember. Because I sat and thought about it and I was like, this is going to be really hard to remember which ones are in here. So I was like, okay, this is good. I can make my little stamps and I can walk around and I can look at stuff and climb things and try not to die. Because I've run into a few of the robot monsters in this game look surprisingly like Horizon.
The Guardians?
They look exactly like the robots in Horizon. It's weird.
Stay away from them.
Don't go near them.
You'll know when you're ready.
Okay. That's what
You'll know when you're ready.
No, that's fair, because I was like, am I supposed to be fighting this or running away? I eventually just went with run away because anything I was hitting it with did nothing. So
you think this is a game you'll go back to? Are you excited to play more of it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and I love that I'm playing it on my giant Vita. I actually really like the
I hate that you call it that.
I
Giant
love that
Vita.
I call it that. It's my giant Vita and it's everything I wanted the Vita to be. So
oh my gosh, Vita owners out there, don't revolt. Steimer also likes her actual Vita.
Although it's broken. I need to get a new one.
I really want to, when you finish Breath of the Wild 300 hours from now.
Yeah, next year.
I would love to see you play an older traditional Zelda and see how you feel about it, because you are like the perfect experiment for this stuff.
Give me Virtual Console on my Switch and I will
There
play
you
it.
go.
I think this is interesting. I also have a very limited Zelda experience. I have, like I mentioned on the show before, the only Zelda I ever finished was A Link Between Worlds on 3DS. I've dabbled in a couple of the other Zeldas, but really never spent very much time in them. I have yet to sink my teeth into Breath of the Wild, but I'm about to go on a very long trip where I have multiple long flights. And when I say long, I mean like 9+ hours. So there'll be, and I bought a special USB cable so I can make sure to keep it charged on the plane. And I'm looking forward to trying this out. So if you guys are listening or watching and you've played through a lot of Breath of the Wild and you've loved it and you have some pro tips or hints or tricks for us, please send them to us. You can email us at contact@whatsgoodgames.com. You can leave us a Facebook comment. You can leave a YouTube comment on this video. You can tweet to us. Let us know like what we should be on the lookout for as people who are just dipping our toes into the Zelda pool.
Oh, I'm also currently trying to train a horse. Does it tell me when it's done?
I mean, if you grab the horse and then bring it to the stable and bank it, like that's your horse.
How do I bank it?
But
You go up to the guy and you go, "Yes, please take this horse."
I think she's talking about how do you tame
How
a
do I
wild
tame
horse.
it?
you sneak up behind them and you jump
no,
on
no,
them.
no. So I did that, and I'm going,
Like everything in life.
Sneak up behind it.
you stick it behind it and you mount it.
So
With
when
no
you
warning.
like the horse,
So
will, like,
I'm playing right now. I have a wild horse and it's coming around with me, and I'm petting it at the right time, so I'm
Good.
getting like the red glee like thing.
That's good.
It's an indication that it's, I think, liking me, but
Yes.
I don't know if it will tell me when it's like my best bro.
It's
horse.
never done.
Oh,
Like
okay.
you never stop dating the horse. it's you have to keep at it. But if you bring him, if he's not yours yet, just bring him to one of the stables and he'll hang out there.
Okay. And
when
then
you
when I
want
whistle,
him,
will he finally
and when
come?
you whistle, he'll come.
Okay, because I keep whistling to no one. It's like,
The horse
Get
is-
you a horse.
It's like, bish,
I got
it's
like
not time yet
5.
for that.
you
I
gotta
need some
get
more
me
petty
a saddle for
sessions.
the-
Get all
Gotta
the
put
horses.
a saddle on it. If you
I'm
want me
proud
to
of
come.
you.
Yeah.
Yay. I'm excited you're playing it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I know you have some other games that you have played, which we'll talk about in a second. I have, of course, been playing more Paragon, but we're not going to talk about that today. I want to talk a little bit about Friday the 13th. So we streamed this last week, which was a hysterical stream. If you missed it, you can catch the archive.
It was great.
It was fantastic. And so I decided to play more of it and have played several more matches and increased my level and tried out different counselors and really kind of seen, how the mechanics develop once you start to learn what you're doing. You're not just running around screaming the entire time.
You weren't screaming. I saw that gif of you looking like a crazed murderer.
yeah, it's true. So this game is interesting because there is quite a bit of strategy involved once you start to learn the maps, once you start to learn the difference between the different Jasons. So there are several different Jasons that you can play against, and each of the Jasons has weaknesses and strengths. Some of them can swim faster, some of them can run, some of them can't run, some of them can use different abilities. And once you know kind of the Jason you're going against, it can help kind of tailor how you play. I have found that I actually prefer counselors that have more stamina than stealth, and that was something I didn't think I'd want. Originally, I was like, okay, I need to find the sneakiest, most quiet person ever so I can just like stealth around. But I felt like after several matches, no matter what I did, Jason would always find me anyway.
Right.
I did escape a couple of times by calling the police and by getting into a car with someone who successfully drove us away. And there was one time where I outlasted Jason by hiding under a bed.
Wow.
I know it kind of felt like a cop-out, but like honestly, the whole point is just to survive. It's not to like run around and like
It's not to kill him.
help
It's not to
everybody.
whatever.
It's
Have you
to,
ever
like-
found the sweater?
I've never found the sweater.
What is the sweater?
So in the lore of Friday the 13th, Jason's mom is the whole reason why he's murdering
Jason's
people.
mom
And so
got it
there's like a little
going on.
hut you can find where his shrine to his dead mother is, and her sweater is there. If you're playing a female counselor, you can take the sweater and put it on. And what it does is it stuns Jason temporarily. Giving the opportunity to fellow counselors to come in and potentially take him on.
I
So
thought it was only the who was
Tommy.
the hunter. Tommy's the only one who can kill him.
Tommy.
So it's like a female counselor in the sweater with Tommy.
right, but if you
with the
have other
candlestick.
counselors that have additional stun items, whether it be a pocket knife or firecrackers or the flare gun, there are several items that can stun him. So if you have multiple people that can stun him repeatedly, because the stuns don't last that long. So if for some reason Tommy misses a shot or misses a swing, because you can shoot him and one shot doesn't kill Jason, like you have to hit him repeatedly.
Right.
So you want to make sure that you're working cooperatively. It probably takes 3 to 4 counselors to actually take him down. I've yet to be part of a match where we successfully defeated Jason. He's pretty invincible, as he's designed to be. But I've really started to enjoy the strategy of it all, and playing Jason is just so satisfying.
Question. So what do you get by leveling up?
So you get CP, and then the CP is used to roll perks. So when you're playing as a counselor, there are a variety of perks that you can unlock, and then each of the perks has a level, like the, common, uncommon, rare, legendary, whatever. And so these perks will give you specific things. Like there's a psychic perk, which allows you to hear the other counselors from the beginning of the match. Otherwise, you have to find a walkie-talkie in order to be able to communicate with all of the counselors. Or you can only communicate with the people that are in your immediate vicinity.
When you say communicate, you're talking about in-game chat?
In-game chat.
Oh.
Yeah. And in-game chat is something that we didn't get the opportunity to take advantage of because the people in our lobby were underage and we weren't comfortable
Well,
streaming.
not all of them.
Well, not all of them. Oh yeah, there was
We had
that
some
one
interesting
time.
conversations.
But there was clearly some very young people in our chat, and we just weren't comfortable streaming their voices without their permission. And also, it was weird that like 10-year-olds were playing this game.
Jason. I killed everybody.
So I would love to maybe take the opportunity, if we can, at some point, to stream again. Hopefully with people from our community, and get like a full lobby and do like a private match. That would be great. But so that's an example of one perk. Another perk is to be able to have a map from the beginning of the game, because you also have to find a map. So if you press the touchpad, for example, if you're playing on PS4, if no one has found the map yet, you don't know where you are.
So just one person has to find the map, and then everybody can see it?
Right.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
I'm pretty sure. Actually, I should double check that. And then there's other perks, like you can be better at stealth. You can run without making noise. You can swim without making noise. You can, if you call the cops, they arrive faster. You can get a perk that makes you drive the car, and the speed of the car is faster. Things like that help you survive the night. And so you just continually re-roll these perks to try to get better and better perks and figure out which perks work with which counselors. As I mentioned, I decided to pick a counselor who had really high stamina. So it meant that I can run away more, because the stamina meter is really what gets you in the end. If Jason finds you, you start to run. Your stamina drains pretty quickly if you have a low stamina counselor, and there's only so much you can do, and then you have to walk. But Jason walks faster than you, turns out, and he can teleport, which is really unfair.
Does the game feel balanced?
I haven't played enough of it to really give an accurate assessment of it, whether it's unbalanced or not. I have played several matches where Jason was unsuccessful in killing people, or he just killed one or two people and the majority of people escaped. But I've also played matches where Jason just dominated everybody. I think it really comes down to player skill level at this point. At a higher level of play, I would need to take a look at how the perks stack up. The thing that I'm a little frustrated with is that Jason only unlocks different types of kills. So you can unlock a weapon kill, and then oh my gosh, what is even happening? As we discovered during our Twitch stream, you can also buy specific gruesome ways to die, like the heart punch, like the back break, the pile driver. And that's really it. They do have some skins. So this is the thing that's a little frustrating for me. You can change the outfits of the counselors. You can change certain skins for Jason. But in order to unlock them, you have to get to a really high level. And I don't understand why they've gated it behind, like, the first one unlocks at level 1 and the next one unlocks at like level 30.
And it's just cosmetic?
Weird.
Just cosmetic.
That is weird.
I don't know why they make you wait, why you can't use CP instead of re-rolling for perks constantly, because you can only equip 3 perks and you can't equip more than one of the same perks. So right now I have probably a dozen different perks that I can choose from, but I can only equip 3 of them at a time. And I don't know why I can't use some of that CP to buy outfits, or if nothing else, maybe add in microtransactions to be able to buy outfits. And I get, because it's a Kickstarter game, started out as that, they don't want to say, take advantage of the community and say, hey, we're going to charge you microtransactions for things that we said were going to be included in the game. But maybe down the road they can add in more cosmetic items that we can buy, because right now I just feel like it's a waste. Like, I'm just rolling the CP and I'm like, what for? I have the perks that I like to use. I guess I could keep rolling to try to get a higher quality one. Like, the stealth percentage goes up like 2 or 3 points if it goes from like uncommon to rare or whatever. But it's interesting. I didn't think that I would like it as much as I do, but it's fun. It's fun to play when you can actually chat with everybody in the party, because working together as counselors is absolutely crucial, and having people warn you like where Jason is and what he's doing is fun.
When you were talking about the psychic perk, does that work? Like, do the other people need the psychic perk as well in order to communicate back? Is it just you can only one way hear everybody?
So if other people also have that perk equipped, then we could talk. If people pick up the walkie, then we can talk. I don't need the walkie in order to communicate with people when I have that perk equipped. So in the matches that I've played so far, at least like 2 or 3 people also use this perk. and the people that aren't using it just haven't rolled it yet because it's like RNG for the
Right.
perks. But you
Great
can
RNGs.
sell. Yeah, you can sell your perks back. So if you get like a duplicate perk, since you can't double equip, they don't stack that way. You would like if you have like 3 of the same perk, there's no point. You just sell it back for CP and re-roll. But yeah, I've been enjoying
That
my
would
time.
be really fun to play with all of us.
Yep, we should do it.
So we would have to have one rando, or a member of our community, right?
we would
that how it
need
works?
no, we
More
would need
than-
4.
we
So
need-
it's one
it's like
Jason
8.
and 7 counselors.
Oh, I didn't know there were 7 counselors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay, that'd be fun.
We could play just us 4, but Jason would probably take us out pretty quickly.
Yeah. No, I
It's,
think it would be fun to do like with patrons.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So Britt, you've also been playing a game called Victor Vran. Tell me about this game. What is this game?
So this game released for PC in 2015, and it is made by a Bulgarian development company, and I won't even try to pronounce it because I'll butcher it. And then it just recently released on PS4, Xbox One, and PC again as Victor Vran Overkill Edition.
Oh, Jesus.
No, it's good.
Overkill edition
Salty Alexa!
today.
So I was describing it to Steimer as Diablo with guns, and then she said, "Well, Diablo has guns," and I was like, "You're right. That's a great point." So whereas like Diablo 3, so I played Diablo 3 on console. So Victor Vran is I don't want to say basically, very, very, very similar to Diablo 3 on console. You have revolvers, you have guitars. You have swords, like legit. So
Explain.
okay, so I've only had a guitar once because I think it's a rare drop. But you like strum the guitar and then like energy beams like pulsate out of it, and then attacks your enemies, or you can like run and like skid on your knees and like take out everything in your path. So again, it plays very similar to Diablo. What
I just love that you were like, it's very similar to Diablo. You have guns, you have guitars. I'm like, wait, roll back. What?
I'm gonna
Except-
go shut this door really quick because there's some noise happening.
Yeah, girls.
outside.
Okay, so whereas like Diablo 3 is more like medieval, right? You have like a medieval setting. This is more. I'm not really familiar with it, but I would call it more steampunky.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
guess.
that seems right. Based on the box art I saw. 2
Yeah.
seconds
I
ago.
want to say it supports 4-player co-op. I think 2 local, perhaps 4-player online. And it's very similar to Diablo 3. Like I'm probably like 10 to 15 hours into it. What throws me off the most is that Victor Vran is voiced by what's his name, Doug Cockle.
Doug Cockle.
Cockle, who is Geralt of Rivia in Witcher 3.
Oh, so that's messing with you.
Oh, it's messing with me so bad. So whenever he's talking, he's like, blah, 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 blah. And the lines he says, that was my best Geralt impression. The lines he says sounds like something Geralt would say. Like the writing is very similar for the characters, so it really screws with me. Yeah, that's our boy, Victor Vran, right there for those watching.
Geralt with guns.
Geralt with guns. So if for me, like, you know, Necromancer DLC just came out for Diablo 3, but I've started Diablo 3 so many times that I wanted that Diablo experience, but not necessarily Diablo, and Victor Vran is definitely scratching that itch.
How did you find this game?
I played it actually 2 years ago when it was in beta,
Oh.
and then I kind of forgot about it, and then I got a press release about a month ago about the Overkill Edition. And then I was like, I'm going to give this a shot. And it's great. It's really fun. There's a lot of depth to it. The crafting system is really great. There's not specific classes, which at first kind of turned me off because Jason, my fiance, typically likes to play as the mage. He likes magic like you, Steimer.
He seems like a mage kind of guy.
I'm also a mage fan.
Okay, so I like the weapon, like the melee weapons and the swords and the armor and all that.
Barbarians.
Yeah. So I was worried that our play styles would be too similar for it to be, because for me, it's fun to like see what new skills he comes up with, you know, because I'll never get those and vice versa. But how it works is that you have destiny cards, which you can equip more as you level up. So when you start out, you have one destiny card and they're essentially buffs, and you can switch between. So far, I've probably uncovered 20 different buffs. You also have demon powers, which you can equip 2 at a time, and wide range. Even the outfit you wear will change how your overdrive meter charges up. So even though we're technically the same person, he's just player 2 and I'm player 1, we play completely different. So great co-op game. We should totally all play it together if we can.
What system are you playing it on?
I am playing on PlayStation 4.
It turns out I have a copy of that game for PlayStation 4.
Oh
We
my
should
goodness.
play
We
it.
should do it. But
Cool.
yeah, great.
I've
Do you
been
have
looking
2
for a new
more
RPG.
copies?
Go away, Steimer.
I'm sure we can acquire some copies of this game. Miss Alexa Ray.
Oh God. I played a game. I played a game and it made me the saddest human.
Oh no.
So I am a big fan of the Valkyria games of old. They are strategy games. They are RPGs. They are pretty great. Valkyria Chronicles 1 is like one of my favorite like older games. And Valkyria Revolution, the new one, just came out. Just came out yesterday, actually. This is going up on Friday. It came out on Tuesday, June 27th. And I didn't read anything about it going into it. I went in blind because I was excited for Valkyria to come back, and I played it at TGS 2 years ago and was really excited about it. And then I played it, and it's just like so upsetting.
Okay, so
It's
what's
really upsetting.
What's
Okay.
the most
The
upsetting?
most
about
upsetting thing is that the series, like the roots of the Valkyria series, are there in the gameplay, and they're poking through. However, they put all this new stuff on it that just makes it feel really counterintuitive and really bad. The story is so shallow and watery and like really kind of not great. And the game itself is just like broken as heck. I would get like stuck in scenery. Like there would be a scene where like a bunch of people are on screen talking and nobody's mouth is moving because nobody animated the mouth moving. Like I can't tell who's talking. It's just not put together well.
So what happened?
And it's
Yeah.
What happened?
You saw it 2 years
I don't
ago.
I
and then-
don't know. I played a demo at TGS. It was the last year Persona 5 was also at TGS. I remember that. And I played Persona 5 and I played Valkyria Revolution. And it was cool. It felt like at the time it felt kind of like samey for Valkyria, but I like the old Valkyria formula of like you're in like a different, like it's World War II, but like things went differently and there's like a little more like fantasy to it, and that's what I really liked about it. And there's a lot more strategy to it and a lot more for you to sink your teeth into. And this one just has like, here's a couple of things from Valkyria mechanics wise, and then here's a whole bunch of new stuff, and then a lady with some giant boobs and a really bad story, and just the game like doesn't look good. Like the cutscenes don't look, the CGI cutscenes don't look good. Like the game just doesn't look good. And I maybe like 12 hours in, and I really want to finish it because I want to see if all of this like holds up or gets better. But like the generic main character is just like too generic. You know, when it's like you're supposed to be like when you have a main character that you kind of insert yourself into, it's like they write them as generic but likable. So it's someone that you can put yourself into who will still have meaningful interactions to all the other characters in the game. And this guy is just like awful. There's like a point where you're reading a newspaper and like I don't know if they didn't record enough lines of dialogue, and this actual moment was mentioned in a review online. I'm glad someone else caught it. But it's like the horrors of war. And the audio response is he just goes, nice.
Wait,
and
did
it's
you
like
say the horrors of war?
and like it's like a thing.
Horrors.
Horrors.
I
And
believe.
it's something like the game tries to say something about how horrible war is, and there's a moment where it's trying to portray this, like, what are we fighting for? And the guy's response is just like, nice.
Cool.
Cool.
story, bro.
I'm gonna play more and I'll report back later. But just like I'm really disappointed. Like I'm so disappointed, and I want it to get better, and I don't know if it's gonna get better, and it makes me really sad.
It's confusing to me that this game came out yesterday, and yet you are. Wait, what day is it?
I got
on Tuesday.
I got early code,
Okay.
and I like stayed up very late, like playing a lot of it because I was very hyped to play it.
The part that's more confusing to me is that you. Well, no, it's not confusing at all. But the fact that you're like, I'm 12 hours into this game, I don't like. Whereas I'm like, if I would probably stop after like.
I don't know. I spent
I-
a lot of hours to get in far enough into Mass Effect.
That's true.
I
That's
have
fair.
hope because it it hits my weeb trigger and my RPG trigger,
Right.
and it's an Atlas Sega game. So I
And it's from a franchise that
Yes, it's from a franchise I
historically
love.
has put out good games.
good games.
Yeah.
So I
But
want
this
to
just looks-
believe
from what you're describing, it's like super hot mess mode.
it's not a super hot mess, but it's
Okay.
definitely one of the hottest of messes.
Is it a thing a patch could fix?
I don't know unless they like reanimate stuff. Like some of it just does not look good. Like the key art looks so beautiful, and I love the designs, and like I'm just really disappointed, and I want it to be better, and I'm probably going to go back and play a few more hours and then probably like slink away to back to Fire Emblem, but like, I just want to believe
Men with pots on their heads.
Men with pots on
I
their
need
heads.
more husbandos.
More husbandos. I'm disappointed because Valkyria series is so great and like that team did such great stuff, and I don't know if like Revolution was rushed or like people stopped caring about it. I honestly don't know what happened. It's not like it's also like a Valkyria game. It's not Mass Effect where like, oh my God, we have to like rush ship, get it out this quarter. Everyone's looking at it. It's a freaking like Japanese weeaboo game. Like we can take a little more time and make it what we need to be. But I'm just really disappointed. And if you're listening and you feel differently about it, like please let me know because I'm like about ready to jump ship. So,
That's
wah.
fair.
Wah.
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 Wow.
Steimer, is there anything else that you would like to talk about that you've played?
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
So this week I was actually participating in a tournament because my friend Meg Turney asked me to be on her team. This was Lenovo Legion and Microsoft's charity battle. So it was basically a tournament with different teams, and we were all like had 3 days. We got knocked out day 1. Spoiler alert.
Aww.
But it's fine. So they had it was a different game each day. The first game that we all played was Gears of War 4. And we played the Horde mode, and we had to do hardcore Horde, no cards.
Oh jeez.
So
Hardcore Horde is really hard.
especially with
no
no
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
So we had a tough time, but we also had a fun time. It was me, Meg, obviously, Ryan Haywood from Rooster Teeth, and then also Pamela Horton. So
Oh, Pam, she's
yeah.
great.
I had never spoken to Ryan or Pamela before this night, but we had a great time, and we actually didn't do that bad. Like the only reason we lost was because the other people, both Ryan and Meg are in Texas, so we had to cut out earlier. Then the other guys were on West Coast, so they had longer. They knew what our score was, and they were kind of able to beat it. It was score based for the first round. Not saying that's the only reason. I was watching their stream, and the guy clearly had way more strategy knowledge than we did.
I mean,
but
there's
it was a
definitely quite a bit
factor.
of strategy in Horde, knowing like where to place the right defenses, what kind of defenses to use, how to spend your money.
There's also new classes, and
Yeah.
you know they we didn't quite understand what the different classes were doing because none of us had read up on it, which we should have. But whoops. And I was watching his stream, and he was like, "Yeah, no, the scouts are the only ones that should be picking up money because they pick up more." And
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
"Whoops, daisy, we
Whoopsie.
did not do that."
Well, it's a balance because while that's true, there's no way the scout can pick everything up between each of the rounds before it disappears. So you
Right.
kind of have to divide and conquer, especially depending on which map you're on and where you've chosen to set up your fabricator. I love Gears of War. I'm sorry that you guys got knocked out in the first round, but
It's okay.
did it make you want to go back and play more of the campaign?
Not the campaign. I played most of the campaign, and I got bored with it. It does make me want to play more Horde mode with people, though.
We could play together.
Yeah, I think we're going to.
We
Because,
should.
Yeah, I was just like, oh man, I forgot. Like
0 to
this
50,
is
girl.
fun.
Let's do it.
Oh jeez, can we put cards on this time?
Oh yes, no, we're not playing on a
We're not
hardcore.
playing without
I'm not a
cards, absolutely not.
masochist.
Hardcore. I mean, it was tough, but it wasn't. I mean, it was awful at certain points.
No,
but
listen, once you get to like level like wave 30, even in like normal difficulty, it gets really intense, especially if you have one person who's lagging behind and not doing the right thing or goes down early or goes down frequently. It's a really challenging game. I mean, obviously they didn't want to make it too easy, but it's a fun game. It's really fun.
Yeah. So the other thing that I played in preparation in case we made it to the next round, I played Forza. It was
Forza Horizon 3?
2 or 3, yeah. Whatever the demo was on Xbox, so I just downloaded that to like kind of mess around. And I actually had more fun than I thought I would because it is more arcadey. I think it's just I really don't like straight up sim racers. I just find them a little bit boring. But I mean, I was crashing into things but getting points for it, trying to figure out how to drift, getting points for it. And I'm just like, yes, give me all these points. I may have come in last place, but I still feel like I accomplished something because look at the points on this screen. This must be good. And I actually didn't do too bad. I did actually win a few of the races, but granted against AI, so I'm not like I'm not
Hey.
bragging over here. I'm
No.
not that good, but it made
Practice.
me feel okay.
Yeah, any racing game requires lots and lots of practice. You have to get used to the cars, get used to the braking, how quickly and slowly you have to take turns. And the Horizon series for Forza did really well at particularly for an arcade racer, especially since the Forza series is known for their simulation gameplay. And I'm so glad that you got to experience it, and because I love arcade racing games.
It definitely broadened my horizons. It pushed me out of my comfort zone because I would have never normally played that game.
I was gonna say, I see what you did there. 'Cause you said it brought you. Sorry.
I didn't even mean to make that pun.
I
Good
chose
job.
to ignore it.
It was not intentional. And so the last game that I haven't played, but I have a code for now, and I'm going to play it, is Halo Wars 2.
Cool.
I played that.
I played the original Halo Wars, and I think I got halfway through the campaign, and then I got stuck on this one mission that was really hard. It was like a random difficulty spike that I didn't feel. I had too much pride to like push it down to easy at that point, and so then I just stopped playing.
I never have too much pride. I always
Me
start on
either.
easy. I start on easy.
I start on normal for everything pretty much, and just kind of go from there.
Well, you are a stronger woman than I. Well, this is great. So this we now have a bunch of games that we can add to our pile of shame that we need to play together. But we have all summer to get to so many games because the releases are pretty light until we get to August. So we have all of July to, dip into some of these games. So if you guys are playing something, or if you've played one of these games that we've talked about in this segment, and you have some comments or you want to play with us, let us know. Reach out to us. And we have one more segment. We're going to be talking about the 20-year anniversary of the Harry Potter franchise.
Harry Potter.
And maybe some other stuff too. Stay with us. We'll be right back after this short break. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our final segment of the What's Good Games podcast. Ladies, this segment is going to be a combination of our previous grab bag and off-topic segments. So sometimes we'll be talking about games, sometimes we'll be talking about non-gaming stuff, sometimes we'll be talking about both. Today, because we are celebrating, along with the rest of the world, the 20th anniversary of the Harry Potter series, we decided to talk about our Harry Potter experiences and how it has affected us or not affected us. So 20 years ago, British publisher J.K. Rowling's debut novel, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the first in the 7-book series about a boy wizard that went on to become a global phenomenon. That doesn't sound right, the Philosopher's Stone.
It's the Sorcerers in America.
Stone, yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah, that's
Philosophers
right.
in the UK.
That's why I was like, huh.
The UK is.
I was reading that from
Weird.
an LA Times article because I wanted to see if they had some cool stats about the series. The complete 7-book series went on to sell more than how many million copies? Let's take a guess. Steimer, what's your guess?
How many millions? 700 million.
750.
Price is Right rules.
Don't say
Uh-oh.
751 or I will hurt you.
That's a really high number. Maybe like 500 million?
450 million.
Oh,
dang.
You
Yeah,
all
that number was
overbid.
really
Everybody's
high.
out. Nobody wins.
That's surprising.
The initial hardback print run was only 500 copies. It was published on June 26th, 1997.
Damn.
It is a little bonkers to think about how long ago that was.
Yeah.
I didn't actually start reading the Harry Potter series until late in high school. I didn't jump on the bandwagon right away. I waited a couple of years, but then once I was on, I was on. I have read that series front to back 7 times.
Jesus.
Wow.
Because I really, really like those novels. And they
Because there's
also
7
are
books?
they're also relatively easy to power through.
Yeah.
When The Deathly Hallows was released, I sat down and finished it in one 16-hour sitting.
Holy shit.
Just
I
like
think I
sat
did something
down, hunkered
similar.
down, was like, I'm gonna read this front to back. It was just so good. It was so emotional.
Was
at
that the
point.
last one?
That was
That
the
was the
final
last
book.
one.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
I believe so. I was in college, so I think 2004 or 2005. Let me look that up.
So I
really
remember
quick.
I was late in high school, and my ex at the time was a super duper Harry Potter fan. And I remember he was making such a huge deal about the new book that came out. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And that's my only recollection of that time period. That's why I asked.
Oh, I must have been. Oh wait, is that no? That can't be the movie. It says published 2007. Maybe I was older than I thought I was. Maybe I was just imagining that I was still in college. Maybe I'm thinking about a
graduated
different
college
book.
that year.
Oh, no, so that can't be right then. I must have been, yeah, because I graduated in 2006. So I was about 19.
Wow. You and me.
Damn.
Yep.
Little babies.
So, Andrea is a diehard fan. What does
Yes.
it feel like to know that you've been into these books? Well, I guess you haven't been into them for 20 years now.
Well, I haven't read them recently because they obviously stopped making the movies quite some time ago, but I was rereading them when the movies were being released. Just as a refresher, obviously they weren't 100% canonical with the book series, as no movie property ever is, but they were pretty close. They kept most of the major plot points in play. They didn't change anything too dramatically, unlike Game of Thrones, which has just threw the book series out the window.
Damn it, HBO.
I mean, they kind of have to because they're not finished.
Sounds
Well,
like another segment.
That's true, but they.
Plus,
I mean,
there's so
yes,
many
we can talk about Game of
characters.
Thrones some
Yeah,
other time.
right.
But they changed some major things in that series that
Oh,
I still have
absolutely.
issues with. But
Yeah.
this series, I think, was really excellent because it got to follow the relationship of these kids from, a very young age all the way through, turning into adults. And something about that experience really resonated with me when I started reading the books as a late teenager and then into my early 20s, and kind of reliving that experience of being in school and loving school. I was a very diligent student. I loved going to school. I loved
You would have
doing
been a prefect.
homework. I'm kind of an oddball in that way that I spent a lot of time in the library. I was very much like a Hermione Granger type. 100%, right down to like the brown nosing and being the teacher's favorite. And it really resonated with me in a way. And so when all of these promotions started happening this week about the 20th anniversary, it kind of blew my mind that it's been that long. And I really hope that kids who are growing up now will read it and kind of hold it up as a classic, much like we hold up some of the other great authors like Tolkien and Jordan, and someday Martin will be held up in that group as well. And there's obviously many other authors who have fantasy series. But Alexa, you're a published author.
I am a published author. I did it. I
But
did the thing.
what do you think of J.K. Rowling in her career as an author? Is she someone that you look up to as a example of success, or do you not relate to her at all?
I relate to her a lot. I think the Harry Potter books are actually one of the if you're a fantasy buff, it's required reading. I did the same thing you did. I picked up the books at midnight releases. I read them all in one sitting. I loved the books. I really feel like they are just one of the best fantasy series ever written, and I hold her very highly. But when people say Harry Potter defined a generation, not me. Like, was I part of a different generation? Like, I love those books, but like, I didn't get into the movies. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I didn't get into like the cult of Harry Potter. And like, when I see all of these like people celebrating like happy 20 years and like Facebook has like all like the stuff on it, and people are like I went to school with people that wore capes to school because they were so deep into like the Harry Potter lore or whatever. I have friends that went to Harry Potter World in Florida and like cried upon entering because they were so overwhelmed. I was not touched by Harry Potter. I enjoyed the books, but I just don't feel anything beyond that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Britt, did you feel the same way?
Yeah, probably a little less connected than you, in the sense that I haven't read any of the novels. I've seen the movies once each. And it kind of comes down to what I was talking about a few weeks ago, I think, on our podcast, is, to me, Harry Potter, they're films. And I know that's not true. I know it all starts with the novels, and people, would you say the novels are far superior than the films?
I wouldn't say far superior. The novels are the novels are excellent, but I really enjoyed the movie series as well. I think they did an excellent job with those movies, and the fact that they were able to maintain almost the whole cast through the entire production run of all 8 of those movies is fantastic. And we got to watch these kids grow into their roles over the course of 8 different films, and that to me was really astounding. I thought that they did a great job. Obviously some were better than others, but I don't think that they jumped the shark the way the Hobbit movies did, for example.
Can we not talk about those movies? I like to pretend the Hobbit movies never happened.
Okay, we still have
that's
to,
another
we
that's
still
another
have to
day.
marathon them.
We do. Okay,
That's
the
but
thing.
but for now we will
Not today.
shelve them as a topic of conversation for another time.
My acid reflux kicked up as you mentioned them.
But I'm just glad though that people like you watched the movies and then learned about the book series, and maybe did it ever inspire you to go back and want to read them at all? I know you're a zombie novel fan.
No, and so like I was saying a couple weeks ago, I was talking about this. I enjoy movies and film, but I can never really immerse myself like I do with video game franchises, because with video games, I feel like I am the story. I am part of it. I can bend it to my will. I can fully immerse myself and participate. Whereas with film, I have this really unfortunate filter where I know in the back of my mind, it's all acting, it's all Hollywood magic, and it's really hard for me to fully I can never obsess over a film the way I do video games. So for that reason, I don't think I'll ever read the novels, but I do love the films. All the one time I've seen them all, but I don't think it'll ever go any deeper than that.
The
That's what she
world,
said.
the world that J.K. Rowling. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Steimer.
Oh, I was just gonna say, but books are a different medium. I know you mostly read zombie. Do you just not like reading in general? And usually,
No, I really love reading. I've always loved reading. It's just I don't have the time. Of course, everyone has the time.
these
I just
are
don't
real
prioritize
easy reads, like real easy.
No, and it's not about that. There's just also this other filter in my mental block where it's like, I feel like I'm late to the party. It's like
It's never too late.
And
There's
I know
no
that's
such
not
thing as being
true.
late to the party when it comes to novels.
No, and I know that's true, but it's just not something that I highly prioritize. Now, if it was brand new Resident Evil novel coming out, talking about lore, or whatever, of course I'd be all over that. Even if it was something like Mass Effect or Dragon Age, I'd be all over that as well. But because it's something that's so old, I feel like,
You're like, it's 20 years
Not
old.
saying
it's
it
past
wouldn't be
its
worth
prime.
reading. I know it would be worth reading. I'm acknowledging that, but it's just not something that I really ever
Hey,
cared to
listen,
do.
That's
if
fine.
it doesn't speak to you, it doesn't speak to you. There was just such a artistic way that J.K. Rowling created this world. The detail, of Diagon Alley and like the descriptions of the magic spells, the really fantastic world building she did with all of these characters, from the professors to the students to the muggles, and like how the muggle world interacts with the magic world. And each individual book had such a unique characteristic to it that really all tied together in a macro sense throughout the whole series. It felt incredibly cohesive, and a lot of long fantasy series tend to lose their way a little bit in the middle. And as a big fan of fantasy books, like, I recognize that, and you kind of roll with the punches because you're like, they're going to bring it back around eventually. And I never felt the Harry Potter series lost its way in any of the books. Some of the stories I liked better than others, and I related to more than others, but I never looked at any of the individual books as duds.
Right.
And maybe that's just my personal fandom coming out. Maybe people who are listening have one that they didn't like or they liked more than others. But Alexa, did you feel that there was a particular book that maybe didn't make the cut or wasn't up to snuff with the rest of them?
I just feel like those books got better and better with each one. Like, I feel like she learned and she refined her writing style, and things just became like richer and better the farther we went in. And also, she did a really good job of closing her own plot holes and answering her own questions. Like, a lot of authors who write these long series will sometimes like leave something on the table or walk away from something, or something is left with like, there's a loophole or there's a plot hole, or something doesn't feel right when you finish the series. And she went back and cleaned up everything, which is not easy. So like, A+ there.
Absolutely. And I kind of judge a novel series on how I can emotionally interact with it. Who here has cried while reading a book?
Oh man.
It's okay. It's okay if you haven't cried while reading a book.
Also, we all raised or 3 of us raised our hand. I just realized audio people will have no idea.
Brittany did not raise her
Brittany,
hand.
you can probably tell by her.
Everyone dies in a zombie novel, so it's
You're desensitized.
I'm desensitized. I don't get attached.
The way that the storylines converged in the final book was so emotional and yet so rewarding. The dynamic between Dumbledore and Snape, and how it really went right down to like the very end before she resolved, that whole relationship between them, was something that was so masterfully done. Like this like cat and mouse game between these two characters through so many different books and through so many different films. I love the graphics that we have on screen right now. If you guys have never watched this show, please,
Now's the time.
Please check it out. And it was just even talking about it now makes me want to go back and read it again. Has anybody read the new book, the play,
No.
the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
No.
So this was a play that started in the UK. I believe it's on Broadway here in New York now, and hopefully we'll be making a wider run in the near future. But the book is a follow-up, and it kind of picks up where the epilogue, I believe, leaves off. I don't know if I'm...
Yeah, it's like their kids.
Yeah. Well, it's like them as adults with their kids and what happens to them. And I thought it was also really excellently done. It was a different style of writing because it is written in play format as like a script. So it takes a little getting used to, and it's much shorter because of that, but still very much worth your time if you guys have not read it yet. I have a copy you can borrow.
I feel like I just want to wait until it comes around and see it as a play. I've read plays before, obviously for high school, like lit class and things like that. I don't love reading plays.
Reading
I want
plays
to
is a lot of
see
work.
the play.
So
Show me the play.
where's the Harry Potter series right now? Anything new coming up, or is it done?
Well,
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
there was it was considered like a prequel movie set in the Harry Potter universe, but did not touch on Harry Potter and the characters
Harry Potter
involved
itself
in that
was
world.
Pretty done.
Yeah,
that
J.K. Rowling
story's
has
pretty
very
closed.
definitively said, like, this is over. Like, I'm no longer telling Harry's story.
Which
It's
I
done.
appreciate.
Right.
Sure.
Because a lot of people would be like, well, I could make a lot more money if I would just figure something out here and just slap it on paper. People will go buy it, but she wants to preserve the good name of
Well,
Harry
I'm
Potter.
sure she also wants to move on from it, right? She
Yeah, she
spent
wrote another
so
book,
many
right.
years of her life writing about those characters in that world. And I know if she's like most creatives, I'm sure that she's got lots of other stuff whirling around in her brain that she wants to share with the world. And I'm excited to see what she's working on next. She has
She wrote that other one.
she
I
wrote
can't
that
remember the
other
name
book.
of it.
published another book called...
But it was very different.
Very, very
I didn't read
different.
it, but I read I like thumbed through it at a bookstore.
Also, isn't she amazing on Twitter?
Oh yeah,
She's the-
Yeah.
blast people.
She is the best Twitterer.
Twitter.
She's the queen of Twitter. She's so good at Twitter.
The queen of Twitter. Should we
queen of
look up some
Twitter.
of her best tweets?
The
J.K.
Casual
Rowling, the queen of
Vacancy
Twitter. So
is the
since
name
we're
of her
talking
other
about
novel.
celebrating Harry Potter's 20th anniversary and Harry Potter spilling out into the real world, I have to ask, did any of your colleges have a Quidditch team? Because
No.
mine did.
No. But I went to a Big Ten school, so
Oh.
they might have had one and I just didn't know
We-
about it, which would be tragic.
We had a Quidditch team that
Details.
played Quidditch against other colleges in the area that also had Quidditch teams.
But how is it possible to play that when you can't fly?
Yeah.
So
Right. I know
people
that.
ran around with broomsticks between their legs. The snitch was a guy in spanky golden shorts.
That's weird.
a very very muscular, very good
I was
looking
about to say,
guy
how
in
hot is the
spanky-
guy?
in like glitter spanky
Okay, I'm
golden
listening.
shorts. That was the snitch, and he could run anywhere. So they would play on a section of the campus that was just like a big open field, like sort of in the middle of all the buildings. And I remember watching a game because I had a friend on the Quidditch team, and they were just you're playing a ball game with your hands, except you're also holding a broomstick between your leg and running around. And one guy is in spanky shorts running around. And the game that I watched, he ran out into traffic, across the bridge, across from our campus and away. And everyone, like the three people on both teams, I forget how that sport's played. Who cares? It's fake.
There's only two
Seekers. Okay, well,
one
two
on
of
each
them.
team, and they would have been chasing him.
And they went after him, and the game doesn't end until somebody catches him.
Correct.
So that game was like 6.5 hours long. Before
was he a
these-
long distance runner?
Yes.
Okay.
They were gone. They were gone for so long. We found out later that they actually like stopped and got food and then came back.
Amazing.
Like they took like the snitch and the seekers took a break in like the middle of the game.
That's illegal.
But
That's
these people,
ridiculous.
But these people played this game for hours, and people watched, and people dressed up for it, and it was so weird.
Okay.
It was
he
so
who
weird.
shall not be named is making an appearance in
The
our
graphic.
video.
Wait a minute. Is that Boston? If this photo was taken in Boston, then this is this was my team.
This is the
That's
team.
No,
hilarious.
but people played freaking Quidditch. Like it was weird.
Okay. So, Harry Potter fans, have you played any of the video games?
Yes.
They're not great.
I
No,
would
I
not
I
imagine they're
reviewed a
great.
few for
but-
IGN. I don't remember what I gave them, but it wasn't great.
I never played the video games.
it wasn't bad. There was one that
The
was
only
like a
video
7,
game I played
think.
was Lego Harry Potter, which was excellent.
Yes. Well, the
The
Lego
Lego
games are-
games are phenomenal.
Yes.
They're great.
So, did you purposefully stay away from them?
I didn't purposefully, but much like some of the not so great Lord of the Rings games that came out way back when, I
many.
was not drawn to them because they didn't have a bunch of critical acclaim. People weren't like, oh my gosh, this game is so great, you have to play. If that had happened, I probably would have gone out of my way to play. Now I'm kind of curious. I might have to look up.
Let's
There
stream
was,
it.
Some
there
of
was
these
one that
games.
was decent because I remember playing it, obviously, because I had to. And well, I didn't have to, but I wanted to. And there was remember the part where Harry like takes the potion and he like has, or he's like more charming, or I can't remember the name of the potion. The luck one.
The luck potion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way they did it in the game was actually really cute too. Like the whole screen's kind of like, and just the way they did the visual effects on that, I enjoyed a lot, and I still remember that to this day.
I think Harry Potter would be a fantastic VR game or VR experience.
Jeff, so I was on Jeff Kanata's podcast earlier this week.
DLC.
And yes, DLC. And he was saying that there is a game called I'm not gonna remember it.
That's
It's a
an
VR
interesting
game that's
title.
basically not Harry Potter licensed, but it's a magical VR game where you kind of like make potions and you make spells and you go out in the world
Is
and
it Skyrim VR?
no,
If it was Skyrim, she
no,
wouldn't
it's
sound
called
so
the
excited
magic
about
something
it.
or the magician something or I wish I could remember it. But when he was talking about it, I was like, "You're making this sound like Harry Potter VR," and he was like, "Kind of is."
So here's a question. We just did a Facebook Q&A where we answered the question, if we could make any video game, what would it be? And several people actually said they would make a Harry Potter MMO.
I wouldn't
Could-
want an
what?
MMO.
Could you see that working?
Ooh.
yeah.
You know, there are enough
Like,
characters that I could see it working. There are enough like major quest lines, side quest lines, NPCs, areas in the world that could definitely work. I think it's kind of missed its time though.
Yeah.
I think if that game had come out 10 years ago, it would be perfect. But coming out now, it's probably like that ship has sailed for a lot of fans because they can't capitalize on the promotion from the movies coming out and the new books. But that is a great idea that will never come to light. I don't
Wow.
think
I
that'll
would
ever
do
happen.
more with like a single player RPG.
I
would
think
be
you
what
hit it on
want.
the head
More
with
like
VR.
a much better one than the ones that came out before it. Give me
Yeah.
a really good one.
Yeah, VR would be great. A single player RPG would also be great. Even potentially, well, I guess, you don't want too much combat in there because there is some combat.
It's just
but
this.
Not a
It's-
lot.
You don't fight.
a lot
you
of
just
flicking.
flick.
One something osis.
That's true.
Yes.
So
You're
it would be good for the Wii. Bring the Wii modes back.
Oh, God.
For the Switch.
The
No.
waggles.
No, the Switch has the wigglies.
All of the waggles.
Yeah, the Joy-Cons. Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can have motion control there too. But yeah, so Harry Potter is forever in my heart now. I kind of want to read it again, though I'm still reading The Wheel of Time.
Have you been
And-
to Harry Potter World yet? Because
So
I haven't gone.
and I actually looked up. So butterbeer is
Yes, I
something
wanna
that I've
drink it.
always wanted to try because,
We can make it.
well, according to
I've made it
the Harry
before.
Potter Wikia, it says the Wizarding World of Harry Potter serves butterbeer either cold with a taste similar to cream soda or frozen as a slush with a butterscotch-like foam on top.
It's so good.
I've made it with alcohol.
Yeah.
I go every year. And so the first time I had one, I drank the whole thing. I do not do that.
Is it a lot of sugar?
Oh, fuck.
I'm
It's so-
sorry. Can I just say the one really non-Harry Potter person goes to Harry Potter every year and drinks a butterbeer? What is this garbage?
Can we go together next time? I've never been, but John
Universal
went
Studios.
and he brought me back a chocolate wand, which I still have in our cupboard because I can't bring myself to eat it.
Dude,
I got the best swag from one of the Harry Potter, like from one of the reviewer, whatever, the WB sent it to me because I was reviewing the game. I got the wand, the Elder Wand.
What?
I don't know where it is anymore
You
after
lost
all
the
of my
Elder
moves.
Wand?
I've
The
lost
Elder Wand?
Steimer!
I know. I know.
It's one of the Deathly
It's one of the
Hallows.
Deathly Hallows.
anyway.
So you know the symbol with the triangle,
Yes.
the circle, and the stick.
Yeah.
It's the stick.
Okay.
Goodness.
That's the
I don't
most
remember.
basic way to explain that.
No, it's
Interesting.
really, even though I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, Steimer, like, I enjoy the fantasy aspect of it. And it's really cool to go in there because it makes you feel like you're in a different world. And to me, I love that. So while I'm not big on the lore, I appreciate the scenery. Anyway, what I was going to say is I go every year and I have one sip of it and then I throw it out.
So let's share it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Do you do the frozen one? Or
I think I've done both. I think I've done the frozen one, but I know for sure I've gotten the creamsicle-y, butterscotchy, whatever
why
it
haven't
is.
you invited us? Why don't you
Probably
like us?
because she was
I'm just
busy
kidding.
running her business before What's Good Games happened.
It happens.
Running our business at Universal Studios.
Work from
Hey,
a
you know what?
computer.
Field research is a thing, Steimer. We all have to do it from time to
I
time.
love it.
Twist my arm. All right.
Well, ladies, is there anything else you want to add about our Harry Potter conversation?
Yeah, I just bought some of the new Harry Potter collection on Black Milk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
What'd you get?
I got a t-shirt that has the Deathly, or no, it doesn't have Deathly Hallows. It has the lightning bolt, Harry Potter's forehead, glasses, and something else like tiny little icons kind of all over it. And then I got a blouse that has Hedwig or just owls kind of like all over it. That you wouldn't really know is Harry Potter unless you got kind of close to it.
Right.
Because I think I keep thinking it's Hedwig just because that's the owl I relate to the most. But she's got a letter, so I assume it's the Hogwarts acceptance letter.
Did any of you watch Potter Puppet Pals?
What is that?
You and
Oh
your
my
fucking
god.
puppets.
Potter
I
puppet pal.
love the internet. I was an internet troll child 10 years ago, whatever.
The internet wasn't around when I was
Potter
a child.
puppet pals. Yes, me and puppets. Call me out.
Yep.
Somebody just made hand puppets of like Harry Potter and made like really dumb, reductive, like mini
Oh my
shows.
God.
They're very funny and they are very reductive. But they're like that was like the big thing coming out. I think they started coming out around the 4th or the 5th book. Some random person just like made them. So if you haven't seen Potter Puppet Pals, Google it and go look at it. It's
It
the
looks fun.
weirdest thing. There was an internet meme for Naked Time that came from this, so you should watch it.
Our resident puppet master.
There
Alexa
they are on
Ray.
screen.
Hello, puppets.
The Potter puppet
If
pals.
it's got puppets
I
in
love
it,
the
I'm
Snape
probably
one.
interested in it. Just saying.
Look at Snape. It's perfect.
he does.
I
look
am
very
the puppet
perfect.
master.
Harry Potter.
So
They're
before
funny.
Before we go, which houses are you all in?
Gryffindor.
I haven't taken the test in a while.
What?
I know,
I
which
took
is
the-
weird.
I
'cause
took the test.
I know I didn't even explain my Harry Potter story. Thanks, guys. But
Okay.
Oh.
Wait, no. While I'm pulling up the test, you explain your Harry
it was.
Potter story.
It's not even that good. That's why I didn't make a fuss
It's too
about
late
it.
now.
Now-
You
now
tell
you-
it.
So I started by watching the movie, first movie. Thought didn't like it, which is weird for me because I love magic. As I've explained on the video for Facebook this week, magic is my obsession. I wish it was real. And didn't like the first movie, but thought I'm going to read the book because I often will do this. I'll watch a movie, and if I like even a little bit about it, I'll go see if there's a book version because there usually is, and we'll read that because it's often much better. Got hooked off the books. So was like, all right, now this is my jam. And I don't think I ever went to midnight releases, but I definitely got the books like as soon as they came out. I remember reading them all night, like not sleeping at all, even though I had school. Who cared? Crying hysterically in my bedroom at certain moments when it was a very emotional roller coaster for me. But
Yeah.
I super appreciate it, but I'm not. And I'm to the level where I will buy overpriced clothing for it, but I won't. And I'm not saying haven't done like capes or anything crazier than a t-shirt with some symbols on it.
Do it.
And I'm not super into like the sword. I don't know what it is about it. I just want it to be real so badly. It makes me sad that it's not.
I draw the line at talking hats. I'm glad it's not real.
I like the sorting hat.
Damn it, Alexa.
Okay, we're gonna do the quiz.
Okay, yes.
Brittany and Steimer are gonna do the quiz.
'Kay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You've made it to Hogwarts, which means you've already bought a wand from Ollivander's. What material is at its core? Phoenix.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say we're doing this one at a time, right? So she'll go first, and then I can go.
No, I have
Oh,
two
you have
windows
you
up.
have two. Oh, okay.
I've got this down,
Jesus.
Steimer. Phoenix feather, dragon heartstring, or unicorn hair.
Dragon.
I'm gonna go unicorn.
Okay. Next question. During the end of year exams, you noticed that one of your classmates was using an enchanted quill. You come top of the class anyway, but they are second. What do? Tell the professor immediately. Cheating is wrong no matter what. Nothing, but if I hadn't come to the top of the class, I'd definitely tell the professor. Encourage the other student to admit what they've done to the professor, or give them a high five for managing to sneak the quill into the exam.
I would like to think that I would tell the professor, but I'm kind of a wuss, and I probably wouldn't do anything.
So what would you do?
Nothing. The nothing one, probably. If I'm being realistic, nothing.
Yeah, I do nothing.
Okay.
God, you guys.
Ain't my problem.
You would be most hurt if a person called you weak, ignorant, unkind, or boring.
Ignorant.
What were they again?
Weak, ignorant, unkind, or boring.
Ignorant, I guess. Yeah. I don't want to be
Oh my
stupid.
God, you're
I
both,
cho- I
you're both
chose-
gonna be
I
like
chose weak.
Ravenclaw.
You're locked in a duel with a skilled opponent. They fire an unknown spell at you, and you shout, Expelliarmus, Protego, Stupefy, or Crucio.
Is there a shitorama?
Do not know what these spells
No.
mean.
No.
The last one is a bad one.
The last one's a
Just
bad
saying.
one.
Last
I
one's bad.
like
It
the
will-
first one. It just sounded cool.
Last one will probably land you in jail.
Oh.
Wizard jail.
This is the best.
The first one.
Oh my gosh, what's happening right now? Steimer?
That's I know that's spell of choice.
Any volta.
It was stupefy. What was the other one that's not Crucio?
Protego,
Protego.
Expelliarmus,
I think stupefy.
Stupefy. Okay.
'Cause we
It's
have
your
more fun to
5th
say.
year at Hogwarts, and you've just received a howler from your parents.
Well,
What
that's
for?
a very bad angry letter that
actually
screams
yells at
at
you.
you.
A howler?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a angry red envelope that comes, and then it's your mother or father's voice literally screaming at you in the middle of
Okay,
the room.
got it.
So you got it for sneaking into the Forbidden Forest at night on a dare, getting caught cheating in my divination owl, being put in detention after I was caught in the library after hours, or nothing. I'd never do anything to warrant a howler.
The library one.
I'd probably wander off in the forest.
Magic. Got beat up by a
Which
magic tree.
Of these Dumbledore quotations speak to you. Pity the living, and above all, those who live without love. Words are, in my not so humble opinion, our most inexhaustible source of magic. It matters not what someone is born, but what they grow to be. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.
They're all so good, Dumbledore.
I like the last one.
I like the first one.
Fuck
All
you,
right.
Steimer.
Why?
Oh, wow.
No need to get mad. It's all right. Which of these most accurately describes your relationship with your closest friends? I love surrounding myself with people. The more friends I have, the better. I have very few close friends that I would trust with my life. I tend to be wary around new people, so don't make new friends often. Or I find myself becoming friends with people who could help me succeed.
The third one.
I think I'd be the second one.
All right.
The close friends with the okay.
Your life.
Yeah.
Which of your skills are you most proud of? Your ability to absorb new information? Ability to make new friends? Ability to get what you want? Or your ability to keep secrets?
Get what I want.
Dang, Britt.
Dang.
Yeah, girl.
The first one was what again?
Absorb new information.
I would say that, even though I didn't absorb that.
Wow.
I'm very smart.
The first Quidditch match of the season is approaching, and you can't wait to get involved. What role are you playing? Seeker, I want the glory. Chaser, I like to be involved and work as part of the team. Beater, I like having all that power. Or I'll be in the crowd, making sure supporter morale is high.
So if this were soccer, I was always a midfielder. What would that be?
That would probably
Chaser?
be the beater.
You'd be a
Oh,
beater.
really? Yeah.
Beater.
You seem like someone who would like to fly around on a broomstick and whack other people with
Yes.
something heavy.
Sure.
I mean, it sounds
If I've had a
pretty
stressful
fun.
day, why not?
Steimer?
Okay, so I actually mixed that up, and I thought the chaser would have been more like midfield.
I mean,
so
it's tough. It depends what kind of midfield you play.
You're
right?
too
So-
aggressive to be a chaser.
No, midfield can be a power position or it can be a support position depending on how it's played.
true.
So
That's what I
soccer
liked
is
about
not a
Like a
perfect
great
analogy.
1-to-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would say beater too, because I really do want to probably hit people. Like I get
Yeah.
aggro sometimes.
Do it. You're allowed a pet at Hogwarts, an owl, a cat, or a toad. Which do you bring? You can bring an owl, cat, or toad, or nothing. I can't be trusted to look after a pet.
Owl.
The owl sounds cooler, but I'd probably go with a cat because it's cuddlier.
I picked a cat as well. Avi.
I'll be.
It's Saturday. You finish your homework and you have some free time. You decided to spend some time away from your common room. Where do you go? The Forbidden Forest, the library, the kitchens, or the room of requirement?
The forest.
You're going to the
I'm
forest,
going to
eh?
go to the forest. Sounds better.
Are you trying to be Irish right there?
No. I have a friend and she's from the
Steimer,
East
what's
Coast.
your answer?
I would probably go to the forest too.
Oh,
It
she's
sounds
from the-
like the most interesting.
She's
out
from
of
the
all
East
those
Coast and there's a
options.
game called
Okay.
the Forest and she calls it the
Oh my
forest.
God.
What would
this
you
quiz is
see
so
in the
long.
mirror
I
of Erised? Myself surrounded by riches. Myself surrounded by my loving family and friends. Myself knowledge above all. Myself experiencing a marvelous adventure.
So for you, because you might not know, that mirror shows you what you most desire in life.
Friends and family.
Yeah. I like those things.
I feel like the
That's most
next
important.
question. is gonna be
Steimer,
like, what's
surrounded
your
by
so-
totally fuckable aliens.
Oh, I mean, is that an option?
That's not an
That counts as
option.
friends and family.
It's not an option. Choose a Deathly Hallow, the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, or the Cloak of Invisibility.
Invisibility.
Yeah, that.
That's what I picked too.
This is
Avi.
such a long
Next
quiz.
question. What's
It's
your
almost
social
done.
security number?
Which path do you intend to follow after leaving Hogwarts? I'd join the ministry. I want to make a difference in the world. I think I'd travel for a while before committing to a career. I'd settle down and start a family as soon as possible, or I'd continue to work it hard in order to achieve as much success as possible.
Travel.
Traveling.
Travel.
Especially if I'm if
Typical
I'm a wizard
millennials.
and I can teleport.
Okay, final question.
Come on, man.
We know that the Sorting Hat takes into account your preferences, so which Hogwarts house do you feel you identify with the most? Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, or Slytherin?
I have no idea what any of those mean, so I don't
So
care.
Gryffindor is like the brave, like leaders, like people that sort of are just like have a lot of courage and are maybe like a little bit stronger. Ravenclaw are like the super like bookishly like smart people and they're very clever. Slytherins are kind of like Gryffindor, except they're a little more conniving and they're a little more, the ends justify the means. And Hufflepuff are miscellaneous.
Griff.
Hufflepuff are kind and
They're
Yeah,
Hufflepuffs.
kind and
you know.
cuddly.
supportive people, yeah.
I
like-
would say Ravenclaw.
Gryffindor.
Because I'm not after
And
glory
Ravenclaw.
usually, but I do like to read.
All right, Britt, you are 36% Gryffindor, 27% Ravenclaw, 19% Slytherin, and 18% Hufflepuff.
Goodness.
Steimer, you are 35% Gryffindor, 31% Ravenclaw. Very close.
Get in that
19%
class, bitch.
Hufflepuff and 15% Slytherin.
So all
I'm
four of
dual
us got
classing.
placed in Gryffindor.
yeah, so just like the description says, just like Hermione Granger, you were ultimately placed in Gryffindor, but the Sorting Hat seriously considered putting you in Ravenclaw. You are a natural-born leader, often taking control of the reins from others whose recklessness or dedication to facts and knowledge clouds their judgment. You are intelligent, but acknowledge that there are more important things in life, and therefore aim to use your intelligence and determination to fight for what you believe to be right. Your slight compatibility with Slytherin House suggests a determination to succeed, though not at the expense of traits of your more dominant houses. For Steimer, your slight compatibility with Hufflepuff suggests a deep love and appreciation for those close to you, which you may keep hidden for fear of being hurt.
True dat.
Thanks, BuzzFeed.
Oh,
That is surprisingly
that was
insightful.
much better than those old Cosmopolitan
Girl,
quizzes that you used to
Snape
take
approved.
back in the day.
All right, so that was a little bit longer than I anticipated it going, but thank you so much for humoring us in our Harry Potter quiz. I love me some Harry Potter. Before we go, we have a bunch of people to thank, but
Check it.
I have in my hands, I don't know if we can do a digital zoom here.
Oh, no. Thanks. All right. Okay. Tell me,
Unnamed
Andrea,
producer.
who made us this amazing What's Good Games cup?
Yeah, I know. Hold on. This is a custom glass etched pint glass. And if you are listening and you want to see it, you can go to our Twitter feed, What's Good Games, What's Good _ games, excuse me. That's it. Yes.
Yes.
My Twitter feed at Andrea Renee, and there's photos of it. It is from a lovely gentleman named Steven. He has a company called Etched NM, so that's etched like it's etched in glass. And so it's NM for New Mexico. So etchednm.com is where you can find his work. He made us these custom pint glasses. They are beautiful. We love them. Thank you so much for sending them to us. We will definitely be using them on next week's show. They arrived just before the show today, so we didn't get a chance to properly clean them up and use them, but we will use them on a stream and a show in the very near future. Some people on Twitter have already asked, like, can I get one? We don't know. We're going to talk and see if there's a way for us to maybe incorporate these into our care package, patron tier, or potentially bring a select few of them with us to PAX West. But we love them and they're awesome. So thank you very much for sending those to us. And another big thank you to Take This, one of our sponsors for the show. I got my Stage of Development scarf today and I forgot to bring it out here. Super excited about that. So that is all about indie devs in Chicago. If you guys haven't watched it yet, I believe it's going to be coming to YouTube sometime soon if it's not already on there. I should probably double check that. But ladies, where can the people find you? Steimer?
Hi, I'm on the internet, mostly at Steimer.
Well, no need to be facetious.
I wasn't.
You're like, but
I
am on
wasn't
the
even.
internet.
Okay, bye. But no, for reals. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, I'm at Steimer On Instagram, I'm at Steimer because I can't get my name there.
I am on all the social medias as at Blonde Nerd. Very easy.
I am at AlexaRayC on Twitter, at AlexaRay on Instagram. And if you go to Amazon.com and type my name into the search bar, you can buy my book.
Kingdom Hearts 2 from Baasss Books.
Yes, it's very good. There's an excerpt up on Kotaku if you want to preview it.
And she probably won't say this because she's too humble, but I pre-ordered her book and it still hasn't arrived because apparently demand was so high that Amazon ran out of copies, and they have
Printing
to
delay.
print
I
me my copy later.
Pre-ordered mine too a long time ago and I haven't gotten it yet.
My editor sent me a picture of the physical copy this morning, so they will be in your hands very soon.
We should talk about maybe doing a book signing at PAX.
I was planning on it.
Good.
So if you're at PAX West and you have the book, I'll have a couple copies on me. So be happy to sign.
Well, if I come into the possession of more than a couple copies, maybe we can sell some at our panel at PAX. And you can find me on the internet at Andrea Renee. I also am part of a daily live show and news show at Kind of Funny Games Daily. Me and Danny O'Dwyer are now part of that team, and I'm very excited for him to come back from Europe so we can host together. He's been gone. But yeah, you guys can check that out over there. But yeah, follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. Be part of our Facebook community. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/whatsgoodgames. We couldn't do this without you guys, without your support. Be part of our Twitch community. We have a lot of fun in the chat. Our mods are fantastic. If you guys are watching, our moderators, we deeply appreciate you and what you do for our community. And we look forward to, talking to more of you. So reach out to us. Thanks so much for listening, and have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.